What's going on? What's going on? And what is popping? What's popping? Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the BKE podcast. You guys know what it is. It's your boy CJ, and you got Logic here. We got Logic here on another week, man. Logic, what's going on, bro?
Salute, salute, salute. Happy to be here. Welcome officially to the Ranters Union. You've been part of the Ranters Union, but we're streaming live on the iRant network finally today for the first time. So, salute to you.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, man. We're live on the Renters Union. So, salute to everybody who was tuning in. I hope you guys are ready. This episode is a very touchy episode this week. We're going to be talking about mental health among African American men. All right. So again, if you guys have any questions that you guys want to ask, ladies, if you have any questions that you want to ask, the fellas about mental health among the African American men, feel free to shoot your questions and we will answer them as we go along this week. We also have a few subtopics, that we're going to touch bases on, and then we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. We do have a few special guests, that took the time out of their busy schedule to actually join us. So first I want to introduce comedian straight out of the Bama, Larry Merchant.
What's
Larry, what's
happening? What's
good,
going
man?
on?
What's going on? What's going on, man?
Everything good, man. I know a lot of your viewers are probably looking at the screen like, man, why are you talking to Chico Bean about mental health? What do he know about mental health? But nah, not Chico Bean. That's I know I'm gonna get that in the comments already.
Yeah, we gonna see. We definitely gonna see. We have another special guest. He's a gospel DJ straight out of the Bama again. We got your boy DJ Favor straight out of the TDR Tone Deaf Radio Network.
What's happening? What's going on?
What's up, Favor? How you doing, man?
Glad to be here representing the breakdown as well.
All right, all right.
Um,
And last but not least, straight out of the DC area, you already know what it is. It's your boy Tavius. He's a sales consultant and a sales coach. Tavius, what's good, man?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. I appreciate you bringing me on.
Man, it's all good, man. I appreciate you guys for taking the time out of your schedule to join us. So again, as you guys heard, this episode we're gonna be talking a lot about, mental health among, African American men. So I hope you guys are ready. I know I'm ready, but before we kick it in gear, I just want to let you guys know that this is brought to you by James Chocolate Truffles. Chocolate Truffles Gourmet Chocolate Truffles made out of the DC area by Moab himself. And also, it's also brought to you by Royal Elite Travels. Is a travel company by Nate herself. So make sure you guys definitely look her up. I would definitely be posting the links and stuff like that. So I hope you
hmm
guys are ready. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. First thing first, we're gonna hit a few subtopics. First topic is Kanye and Kim custody battle. Right now
Oh
they've
my
been
God,
going
this
back and
nigga.
forth. They've been going back and forth. You know what I'm saying, on Instagram and different interviews and stuff like that. They both been throwing jabs. So recently, Kim K posted, I believe it's their oldest daughter, Ji Young, if I'm not mistaken, on TikTok. Not sure exactly what the video was about. It was like a still shot, and Kanye was like, his daughter was being held against the will against him. So I mean, Logic, do you know any more details about this whole situation between Kanye and Kim?
I just seen some type of meme earlier today where Kanye said something, and I'm paraphrasing to the effect of, you know, he had the drug test in order to be around his family, and that he had to go other avenues to get the address to the birthday party, and basically like what you said, he's accusing her of trying to keep him away from his children. So that's all I know. The little bit that they putting out there. If that's true, that's fucked up. But at the same time, I feel like he got the resources to fight it. You know what I mean? Move next door.
Listen, did you guys hear anything about this? Like, have you guys seen it on social media? Anything?
I haven't seen it. I don't know. I kind of look away when Kanye West pops up in the news. Ain't no telling what he finna say. Like,
Bruh.
like I'm hoping this ain't true. I'm hoping she's not keeping him from his kids. Um, I would like to think that it's not, because you can look at it the other way too. You can look at it like, Kanye say a lot of stuff. He said a
Right.
lot of shit,
Yeah.
and who's to say that what he's saying is true about her keeping him from his kids? So this is for me. This is one of them wait and see things. Like, let me wait till some more information come out. But until then, I'm gonna do like I always do when I see topics about Kanye West. I'm just gonna drink a beer because
Not popping the beer though. Not popping the beer.
I feel like
Bruh.
when it comes to celebrities and anything like this, the natural thing to do is either ignore it or pick a side. Like I don't think for the majority of us, I don't think we actually care to listen to the deep details. We either just going to be like,
mhm,
this isn't important, or Kanye's right, or Kim is right, and that's just what people
right,
do. They automatically hop on. If you're a man that's ever been in that situation with your kids, you're probably gonna hop on Kanye's side. If you've been a mom who's had to protect her kids, you're probably gonna hop on Kim's side. But overall, we don't know, and we'll never know. So even picking a side could be dangerous in that type of situation. It's just like he said, just I'm out. Y'all do what you do. He got the funds. If he got the funds to buy the house next to her out of nowhere, he got the funds to fight and do what you gotta do. You know?
I agree with that.
Definitely agree. Definitely agree. Favor?
Bruh, I can say a lot, bruh. Being a father who's raising a daughter from far away is a tough deal, dog. This kind of hit home. I don't know what the situation is. As a music person, I should know. I should have did my research and read up. I heard about it,
Right.
and there's pushback, and there's flack, and everybody got their own opinion. But being in the situation I'm in, I know one thing. The only people that know what's really going on is Kanye and Kim. So I'm hoping he doing the right thing as far as it ain't all true because I'm hearing a lot. I,
Man,
I don't know. I,
it's
I'm hearing a lot, and I'm taking it personally because of what I went through. So
hmm
yeah, I don't know. It strikes a different chord. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, man. Listen, we don't know the full story yet, but they've been really throwing jabs,
Yeah, that's
in social media and during interviews at each other. So
mm-hmm.
it's been a little hectic, between the two. It's been a little hectic between the two. So I just hope that they'll be able to get over this. The whole marriage, the divorce itself, the divorce process itself
That
has been
ain't
very
even
toxic. It's been toxic. It's been
bruh.
toxic, from the house
Like nuclear
situation.
waste.
Yeah, nuclear waste
But it's
toxic. Exactly.
but
Right.
it's in the open though. Like it's like I can speak volumes on this because of like I said, my own personal situation. But you know, I ain't no famous person or nothing like that. So I'm
But it,
looking at it. I'm like, you hate judgments because you going through the kind of the same deal, and then you thinking about the kids and the
You
yeah,
see
yeah,
yourself in the situation.
yeah. Like,
Yeah. But see, that's why
oh,
that's why I come at it from the angle I'm coming at it from. Because for those who don't know, I don't have kids,
mhm.
and so I don't necessarily see myself in it. When I look at it, I look at it from a place of, because it's Kanye involved, so I look at it from a place of skepticism. Because I look at Kanye like one of them this nigga here type motherfuckers. Like, you ever see one of them motherfuckers come down, like DL Hughley said, one of them motherfuckers come down the street, you be sitting outside like, oh my god, here come this
Here
nigga
he
here.
come.
Yeah,
right, right.
Like, oh, here he come, bro.
he say something crazy, just this nigga here, man.
Like that Friday movie. Hey, put your stuff up, man.
Should
So a
be
lot of the
crazy.
time to keep from so a lot of the time when I see news, when I see Kanye in the news, to keep from automatically judging what's going on before I even know what's going on, I just don't say nothing. I just kind of make my little facial expression and all right, tell me what happened. Go ahead, just go on tell me.
And it should
See,
be it should be crazy too, man. That's the thing. Go ahead, Tavius.
no, I was just gonna say you able to do that. I'm a DJ. So they pull me right into it. Like, what do you think? What's going on? What's your I get it every time. So I'll be wishing I'm on the other side sometimes. But go ahead, CJ. Go ahead.
Nah, you good. You good. We're gonna try to figure out more information on this as you know as it goes. But it is Black History Month, and things just haven't been going right with some of these celebrities, right? First thing first is Whoopi Goldberg gets suspended after her Holocaust comment. So
We all would.
here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that I realize is we cannot talk about the Jews. Cannot talk about them, right? So the comment that she made, and I'm paraphrasing, is that it was never a race problem. It was never a race problem. That's from what I got from it. And to be honest, it wasn't a race problem. It wasn't.
Be
It
careful
is.
now. You just got this podcast. You gonna come out. Be careful.
Warn them,
Be
Larry.
careful.
Tell
We
them
gonna
They
again.
want to blow you up like Seven Samuels. It's gonna be good.
Man, listen.
the views expressed by CJ on the BKE podcast they
Hey
do not
man,
represent. I'm kind of glad I ain't pull up my podcast earlier because then they'll come and get me too.
I mean, this it was very crazy because like when I seen it, she got suspended, and I was like, well, damn, what the hell would we do? What the fuck did she do to get suspended? And when I read it, and I was like, oh man, that's that. I was like,
But see,
Well,
this is the
because
thing.
her idea
I'm
was
not
right.
surprised. Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
I was going to say her idea of what she was trying to convey is like us as black people, just walking down the street, especially back in those days, you could be targeted just by how you look. But
Mm-hmm.
the problem that she doesn't understand is even though they couldn't be targeted right away just because they both had the same skin, the Holocaust was still racially motivated because the Nazis believed they were a superior race even among their own race. It's the same thing as
Mm-hmm.
if we got together and was like, you know what? We just going to ban against the light skinned dudes. It's like, yeah, is it real race? Yes, technically it is because it's still within it, but there is no discrepancy like walking down, you're not going to do that, right? Ku Klux Klan was walking down, seeing black people just for who they were, and that was a race thing, versus Jews who believed the blue eyes, blonde hair, blah, 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 was superior. Knowing Jews would never have those features, they were easy targeted. So, and Whoopi just kind of got a dose of her own medicine, and it's I don't think have been such a huge thing, but she's always trying to cancel people. You can't always try to cancel people, then say that, and then you and your people expect nothing to happen. Y'all are always doing that. They was like literally 3 days ago they was trying to cancel Joe Rogan or whatever his name is
Mm-hmm.
Spotify thing.
This
You just got to be
this is my
careful that you don't
thing.
be on that side.
This is my thing. I can kind of see things before it happened based on like placement, like people placement and attitude and subject matter and stuff like that. Let me ask y'all a question because I don't watch The View like that. How many other black women have been on The View?
Um,
It's
that's
just
the
been
million
Whoopi,
dollar
right?
question. That's
You
the
mean
nah,
million
as
dollar
far as
question.
a host?
Yeah. Like, I think they've had guests on there, and I think
Yeah,
they
they had
probably have
guests.
had like guest hosts on there when one of them can't make it or whatever. It's
But
only
you
a
mean
matter of
this?
time. It was only a matter of time. That's one black woman sitting up there with four white women. It's some shit that she gonna say that they not gonna agree with. She didn't have nobody on that stage to
I
agree with
agree.
her and go, well, I think Whoopi was right. You know what I'm saying? It was just everybody just started saying she was wrong, and that type of stuff plays into like how she got suspended and how everybody looking at her like, when you get to the court of public opinion, everybody started looking at her like, well, they all said she was wrong, so she must be wrong. But whenever you talk to any black person, they were just like, no, I kind of get what she was saying. Like, she might not have
I've,
said it
ne-
the right way, but I kind of get it.
Right.
I've never watched the show, but wasn't Raven on there one time?
I
Raven
think
was on there.
I think they
Yeah,
had
I
a
she
think so.
was.
I think
She
they had a
was.
few. I think they had a few black
Like
co.
Yeah.
Raven,
Yeah,
Star
they did.
Jones, like I feel like they were caught up in some
Star
stuff.
Jones was on there. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
it
They
was
had a
far
few. Yeah, it
it
was
was
a
far
few.
in between though. It was far in between. Like for every
Right.
black
Yeah.
co-host they had, they probably had like 5 white women.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just about to
Well,
say that. Yeah.
of course.
Exactly. Exactly.
This is what I
It's
gotta
like
say
the
before y'all
like the
move
Supreme Court of daytime talk shows.
on. Pretty much. This is what I gotta say before we move on.
Warning. The opinions expressed in this program are those of the presenter in their current state of mind, which you have the right to change at any given moment. The iRant Network and the members of the Ranters Union are not responsible for any claims made. All opinions and train of thoughts are welcomed here and protected by the First Amendment and the Ranters Union.
There we
Right.
go.
All
There
right,
we
man.
go.
That,
You wanna get
we appreciate that message, Ving Rhames. We appreciate it.
salute to my guy Ralph Garcia. That's the voice. That's the voice y'all hear. Ralph Garcia. Salute to that
That's
man.
funny.
Yeah, salute, man.
But
Definitely,
I
definitely.
think it does bring up a topic of what is race. You know what I'm saying? That's the conversation I think they should be having on a platform that big. What is race, and what is the purpose of it? Right? Because race is a social construct at the end of the day, right? So
Right.
Watching that show, though, I mean, I might be one of the few men that were home for a while, and around that time, it's really nothing on TV. So I
Mm-hmm.
click on and I tune in.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I
You know
don't
what else?
see that happening, dog. Like all these conversations, even racially based, they was kind of triggers. So I was waiting for Whoopi to fly out the handle sooner or later, but it ain't.
I think no.
Man.
Wait,
I was waiting because if you go back,
did she fly off on the Colin Kaepernick situation?
she did. I take that back. She did go off on that
Ever
one.
since then, they don't
But
want to talk about race because Whoopi.
yeah, but if you go back to the shows before that, there were times where I was sitting here like, "Ooh, they better not invite me on nothing like this, bro." And Whoopi was doing her thing,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Well, shoot, dude.
And you know,
Come
crazy.
on, man!" And they would throw stuff out there. If you go watch the shows, they would throw stuff out there and look at her like
He said, "Sound like you watch it
like
every
it's
day."
your turn. For a minute, I was at home. You know, COVID and everything, job scarce, the area I'm in. So I was at home, and I'm watching daytime television. Like, whoa, oh, this is what we doing right
You
now.
was watching
Ain't
a
nothing
little
wrong
bit of
with
Young and the, you was watching a little bit of Young and the Restless.
Actually, I
ain't nothing
didn't
wrong
get
with
I
watching it.
I didn't get into that.
well, you know what,
But
Whoopi?
I
When
used
you
to
get
watch
to
it
that
in the
certain
group.
age, you're definitely gonna start speaking your truth. And
yeah,
I was under the impression, and I just looked it up. I think it's true that Whoopi Goldberg is Jewish.
I heard that. I
Yeah,
didn't know if it was
I
true or
heard that
not.
Everybody else said that too.
she had
Yeah.
some. I heard that she did have some Jewish inside of her. So that's why I
Who
didn't
said
really
that?
understand it.
Larry, let it go. Let it go,
Hmm?
Larry.
You said what?
Oh, but
What?
I knew it was coming.
I thought it was wrong for her to get suspended. But CBS is CBS. So
Facts. That's
And
another thing. That's it.
CBS,
See,
CBS is CBS, yo. You
that's
know,
it. Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
know
I'm gonna
what's
leave
funny?
that
Ain't
at that.
CBS
You know
ain't
what's funny?
CBS owned by Viacom too?
Right. So what's funny saying that is like I'm not taking a position on this, right? But it's said a lot in the public that the Jewish people run the media, right? A lot of people run with that narrative, right? So this right here doesn't make that look like it's not true. This doesn't make that look untrue. It makes it look
exactly,
if you say
exactly.
anything, you will get canceled. If you say any, meanwhile, you can say whatever you want about black folk for the most part. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of other, different groups. But as soon as you say, "Oh, that wasn't racial, that was an inhumanitarian situation," right? And still get canceled. That says that they do run the media. That's what it looks like, at least.
Can I
That
say
part.
something to Candy on what she just said? Now, us being show hosts, we know there are certain things that we don't touch on for a reason. But
Go ahead now.
on TV, yeah, it's some stuff you don't want to touch. For real. I'm
You
just
know,
telling you,
Right.
there's some
Freedom
and
of speech doesn't mean freedom
there
from consequences.
but
exactly.
there's some
Right.
shows that's been canceled and we don't see them anymore. And I can name a few, but I ain't gonna do that. With that people that look like us, and we was like, yeah, oh yeah, he right, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Where is he now? See what I'm saying? I'll just
yeah,
continue.
yeah. Definitely, definitely, man, definitely. I'm definitely going to try to look more into this situation as it pretty much opens up. I don't think this is the end that we actually hear about this. Yeah, I think Whoopi is definitely just going to like fight this and get
Nah,
that
she
back.
apologized, bro.
I
I mean,
agree,
yeah,
Candy.
you can apologize, right? But
Jeez,
I think this is definitely going to come back up at some point. So I guess we
nah.
just sit and wait at this point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Hopefully still going on.
Hey, well, we know social media is gonna run with it.
yeah, yeah.
I don't think so. I think like in 2 days we'll be over it on something else.
It's gonna be something new. Yeah, well,
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna
Watch.
last.
Look,
I don't think it's gonna last that
I
long
think
either. I think
Candy
it's gonna
should
end up coming
be.
back.
I think Candy should be her lawyer. I swear she going in the
She didn't
comments
mean it.
right now.
she didn't mean it.
Oh,
Candy should be her
Yeah,
lawyer,
Oh,
man.
Candy down there cussing and everything.
yeah, like Candy, I feel you, Candy.
Bruh, I
You know,
feel her too, dog. I just,
I feel you.
yeah.
While we talking about Black History Month, we're gonna talk about T-Pain, right? T-Pain made a comment that upset a lot of people. Upset a lot of people. So what he said was that you need to stop celebrating Black History Month. Although we celebrate Black History Month, I think we should just have history. They overshot it. We don't want our own. We don't want our own shit. It's separating us again. We want to be a part of history and not just 1 month of it. Like we want to be a part of history, but don't celebrate 1 month for us. I'd rather everybody to stop celebrating that shit and just let us be a part of history and not just y'all get paid attention to on the shortest month of the year. And people got upset about it. People got upset about it. But I see where he was trying to go. But his context wasn't there. His context wasn't there. Candy said that he sounds stupid. And Virginia Slim, what's up, man? We always
Salute, salute,
appreciate when you tune in, man. But
salute.
this T-Pain situation, right? I'm just gonna go out and say it. I see what he was trying to say. I am that guy that's like, we got the shortest month. We
Yeah.
got the shortest month, and I think we only got this month as a PR stunt. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. That's just me. My Black history is 365 days a year. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. You know what I'm saying? But I get what he was saying, but like I said, his context was out of reach. So How do y'all feel about it? Larry, I'm gonna give you the floor first.
So yet again, this is another one of them topics where before I start talking about it, I need to take a swig of my beer.
Here we
Because
go. Get ready.
like you, I understand where he was coming from. Let me ask you a question. Where did he make this statement at? Please don't tell me it was Twitter, where you can only use 140 characters.
um,
Probably his Twitch. He got his own stream.
it was on TikTok. No, it wasn't
Oh.
on TikTok. I'm sorry. It was on Instagram.
Mm.
Instagram.
Yeah, it was on. No, it was on Twitter.
He took
Yeah,
a
it was on
deep
Twitter.
breath.
Yeah,
It
So
was
so it
Twitter.
was Twitter.
yeah, it was Twitter. It was
Uh-oh.
Twitter.
Nigga
Yeah,
here, man.
it was
Here
Twitter.
we
Yeah.
go.
So I understood what he was saying. Um, what I want celebrities to do, because I get what he's saying and I totally agree with it. But what I need for celebrities to do is stop saying important shit like that need a lot of explanation on fucking Twitter. Go to real time with Bill Maher or something where you can sit down and explain it all the way through. Instead of having to say some shit real quick in 140 characters, and then you get backlash and then you got to explain what you meant later. Because basically, what he fucked up at was he kept saying in the statement, we need to stop celebrating Black History Month. Right there, right there, some of the black folks don't hear nothing you say after that.
Right,
They don't hear
right.
nothing else you say after that.
Yeah.
Like, because if you could say, just imagine for 1 second, all of y'all. I don't know how familiar. I know Favor and CJ are very familiar with Clubhouse. I don't know how familiar everybody else is, but just imagine for 1 second that somebody said that on Clubhouse in a room full of black folks. How many people do you think would jump up and respond in the middle of him saying it?
They gonna
Stop
try to come to
celebrating
the
Black History
stage.
Month.
Everybody
Gonna
gonna
get
be on the
kicked
stage.
out.
Oh
He
man.
gonna get
No,
kicked
you're
out. He
absolutely
gonna
right.
get reported.
Bruh.
He'll be in the middle of his explanation. They won't even let him finish. He gonna get kicked out. He gonna get reported. He gonna lose his fucking bio, his page on Clubhouse. He gonna get back on there with a different one. That one gonna get reported. And every room he go in, motherfucker gonna be, oh, you the coon that said we should stop celebrating Black History Month.
Hey, he gonna
Like,
be famous because they gonna make rooms
like,
about him.
cause like I said, I get where he was. Yeah, he'll have 50 rooms made about him. I get what
Bruh.
he was saying. Like, Black history is American history, and we need to start treating it like it's separate. Like, I get that. You should probably sit down and say that shit in a way, in an interview or something where you can talk for at least like an hour or something. Come on the BKE
Yeah,
podcast and say it.
yeah.
Don't do it on Twitter, man.
Hold
Don't
on.
do it on
Hold on. I don't
Twitter.
want to receive the backlash for that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, like,
I ain't gonna
come on
say
somebody's
who I
podcast and say it where you
One.
can listen to the whole thing. Like, don't do this. Come on my podcast. Come on the Church of Foolishness. I forgot to plug my podcast earlier. But
see that.
like, do
See
that.
that?
But don't do that. And then don't say in that, like, because he kind of alluded to the fact that he feels like it's not part of America. It is, because Latin American History Month too. Latin history. I'm saying it right now.
True.
I ain't even gonna say what I was about to say, because then I'm gonna get counted. But
See that?
Pacific
They
Island.
coming for
go
you.
somewhere
What was your name of
where
your show again?
I didn't say it, so it don't count.
Yo,
You
Trav,
got a
what was you
longer,
about to say?
well, you got a longer platform.
All right, Tad, what you about to say, man?
Oh no, I was just saying Asian American and Pacific Islander month. That's probably what he's talking about. But the one thing that I feel about this, the problem is, and it actually ties into what we're going to talk about later on, which is, Black mental health, is there's a lot of things that we talk about quickly in a room that needs a lot of time, like he was saying. So when we're trying to say something, it's faster to just say what's on your mind than it is to take the time to step back and decipher, because we're not allowed time. if you ask me a question about something that's real, like provocative or real, like hardcore, if I go, hold on, let me take a second. If everybody's already figured that what in their mind, what my answer automatically should be, if I take 1 second to go, all right, hold on. People go, what you got to think about? What you got to do? Why you got to think about it? You should know the answer. And so now we're forced to just jump in. And so for him, he's not saying don't celebrate Black History Month because it's not important. He's saying work towards making history all the time, because look at it now. In schools, they're literally trying to make sure that kids are not learning history of America, because when they find out the true history of America, they're going to be on a rude awakening, and that'll start to break things down. So that's what he's trying to say. But since it's such a quick thing, because social media is, people's attention span is like that. And then people reply like that because the first person to comment gets the most likes. Look at any post. Who has the most likes? It's the first or second person. So if Larry comes on here and says something, if I go, he's stupid first, and then I explain it, I'm gonna get way more likes than somebody who goes, no, he didn't listen to what he said for 10 minutes. He was trying to say, they go, oh, you bullshit, you a coon, you just, that's what happens. We're not giving each other time. And that's the problem. We have to be the first person to say something so we can get the most likes, loves, reacts, and not given enough time to just express the entire opinion before we say something.
That's some real shit. Real shit. And I'm a piggyback off of what both of those brothers said, and I'm gonna say that to me, him venting about Black History Month on Twitter is in line with a lot of pseudo woke niggas, right? So they want to think outside the box. Even he's not the first person to say it. Sidney Poitier was not Sidney Poitier. I called this nigga Sidney Poitier. Morgan Freeman. I believe Morgan Freeman. There's an interview out there where Morgan Freeman is breaking down him not participating in Black History Month, and he was real articulate, and he had a point. Like T.I., like who was it? Who was the guy? Was it T.I. or was it T-Pain?
Yeah, T-Pain.
So T-Pain.
Like T-Pain, they got a point, but their point is rooted still in either ignorance or they not looking at certain things. Like the brother said, there's a Latin American month, and while you guys were talking, I was just looking it up. There's a Jewish American History Month that's in May. There's an Italian American History and Culture Month that's October. And mind you, the only reason we have Columbus Day is because the Italian Americans made us have Columbus Day. Okay. Got Irish American History Month. That's in March, right? So you have all of these other people being able to keep their culture alive. But when we do it, we want to run from our history so much or complain that is the shortest month, you know what I mean? Or look for something to complain about. Oh, we not doing shit. We really need to just have power and all of this. But you're not even utilizing the basic necessities you got to your fucking in your tool shed, right? You got a history month, use that shit. Use it.
Speak it, brother. Talk your shit.
You know what I mean? So I think them brothers is pseudo woke with that. Just like when they say, oh, why call me African American? Nobody else is such and such American. That's a lie.
Big lie.
That's a lie. I live 10 minutes away from the Italian American Museum or some little shit they got for themselves. You know what I'm saying? In my neighborhood, you got Irish American, like we just said, Jewish American, Italian American, Asian American, Latin American. The fuck? What do you mean? African American?
I just thought somebody else said it. That's the only thing. When you said who said it, I was like, oh, for real? I thought you was gonna say Kanye said something, or look, he came back to the screen quick. Like, wait a minute.
Oh man!
I was like, oh, that's who. Oh, it wasn't him, huh?
Exactly. Okay. Make that month count. Make that month count.
I agree with my fellow brothers on the panel, though. You know, they did, and this has been a conversation going on. I don't know about y'all, but one of the podcasts I'm on all the time, the Man Cave, we talk about this kind of stuff all the time.
Right.
Because it's strange to me that this is even going on for as long as it's been going on, and people get used to repetition, as my boy Cal would say. They just don't want to change.
Right.
So I I don't know. Like we had this conversation a few months back, and pretty much what came out of it is a lot of our people, even though we're out there and we're fighting for us being in the forefront, don't want to do the real work and push the effort. You only see certain ones that's out there doing it. Honestly. I mean, think about it. You can think of three of them off the top of your head that's always fighting for it. And where's everybody else though? So yeah, I'm gonna close my mic. I'm gonna be quiet.
They on
Mute my mic, like they say on Clubhouse.
they on,
I'm a mic my mute.
they
Like
on
my mute.
Clubhouse. They on Clubhouse
Not
and
me.
Twitter.
Yeah. Say what? What you say, Logic?
I said they on Clubhouse and they on Twitter with these pseudo
Yeah.
points. They not doing shit, but they got these pseudo points. You know what I mean? They real deep. Oh, we don't even need that. What we really need is okay. Mills Lane said, "Happy Whoopi Goldberg month."
Wait, hold on. We
Salute, Mills
this what we doing.
Not doing that.
Lane.
He ain't even put it on the screen. See, he's there.
Happy,
Let me stop.
happy
I
Whoopi
got wish.
Goldberg month.
So wait on that one.
Happy Whoopi Goldberg month. You
I'm
know.
good.
Goldberg month, y'all.
You know. But moving on, we're gonna get to the topic at hand. It is time. So we're gonna discuss this. It is now time to discuss mental health among African American men. And I'm gonna break the ice with this one question that somebody asked me throughout the week. Um, the question is, first, let me say that, many men have not been told, how to process and talk about their emotional experiences, further in a sense of isolation, anger, and resentment. For these men, this creates an emotional uh, volatility that can sometimes manifest in seeming shutdown in relationships and friendships. So, the question at hand that I was asked is, why are men afraid of counseling? So, I'm gonna let Tavius, I'm gonna let you go ahead and break the floor first.
So, I mean, that is a really good like statement for what they were saying. To me, I think it's less about fear and more about why, right? And so to say fear from something, you could say whatever. I could sit in front of a person, and but what do I gain from that? And the reason why we feel like what do I gain from that is because if you go like way back, and I'm not going to like break down history, but as men doing the work during slavery, we had to reserve our feelings. We couldn't show them because that what's got us beat more. That's what got us hurt more, and those type of things and demographics. As that started to move on, women didn't have the same rights, and that's a whole other talk. So men had to provide, and then when men had to provide, we didn't have the room to. We didn't have time to have feelings. To be honest, we just didn't. But when we started to finally be able to grow more and more, it became more of seeking help was more of a weakness, but we didn't know that it really wasn't. It was like, well, why do you need it? He don't need it. He don't need it. They don't need it. When we looked at it as a collective, it was like, oh, well, if you need therapy, if you need to lean, if you need to, talk to another person about your problems, if you need to do these things, it's seen as a weakness. And then black men have always been looked at as a pillar of strength, right? From back in the days. And so that was seen weakness. And so then it became a thing. Like now it's like, oh, she crazy. He crazy. The moment you talk about therapy, there must be something wrong. It must be crazy. It's not necessarily just, hey, I don't got nobody to vent to. Let me vent to somebody. Because even then, let's all be real, we've all vented to somebody who went and told everybody. So then we get reserved in even talking to our own people. So then it becomes a clown fest online now that social media has become a big thing. It becomes black men and their mental health becomes a clown fest because we're not allowed to elicit emotions. Because if it is, if I start crying on this podcast right now, it could be a meme tomorrow, right? But that's what it is. And so it's like, it's not fear of counsel. It's in our mind, it's go, what are the alternatives? If I go do this and someone finds out, will my reputation be ruined? Will I be blown up online? Will I be seen as crazy? And so it goes, you know what? I'm going to deal with it myself. Could I tell my friends? Yeah, and I tell my friends certain things, but for the most part, we all internalize it. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy in any way. But the alternative in our mind, which isn't right, is all the bad things that could happen and could spiral from that. And so I don't want to take up too much more of the time because I want to make sure everybody talks, but it's not necessarily of it. It's the fear of what happens when everyone else sees and knows it. And that's why I'm glad we're able to talk about it, to say, I'm in therapy. I'm trying to find a therapist. So me personally. And the more people that say it, and now y'all can go clown me. And then once it goes, oh, he survived the clowning, cool. We can now move on and start to really heal in the right way.
Big facts. Larry, you up next, bro.
It's a bunch of different things. So I'm gonna try to hit on a lot of. I'm gonna try to hit on different things than what Tavis said because he hit the nail on the head with a lot of stuff. First, we gotta stop being. We gotta stop trying to be hard all the goddamn time. It's like how Cat Williams said, like niggas be mad at breakfast, like gang banging on breakfast and shit. Like we looked at it as pillars of strength, and then like how most men would tell you, we trying to size up every other man around. At the motherfucker, you at Midas. Why are you trying to size up motherfucker to see how much ass you can whoop? You just get your breaks done, like. And then on top of that, the stereotypical way that the black community looks at mental health as a whole, not just with men, because we all know somebody that's got kids one of their kids might have like ADD or ADHD. I don't know which one. They might be autistic or something. And you might tell them, hey, I'm not, I had this happen with me. I'm not gonna say what family member it was, but I was like, hey, you might want to get your kid looked at for maybe ADHD or I just said the word autism. For autism or something like that.
Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with my child. Ain't nothing wrong with her. She just lazy or whatever. Or she just this. My child ain't crazy. I'm like, that don't mean your child crazy. It's something that if you catch it early, like she young right now, you catch it early, you can get something done about it where they can be fine later on in life. And we just like Taylor said, we clown each other for a lot of shit sometimes.
That too.
Unnecessarily. How many times you hear somebody and no matter how you feel about the gay community, you using that in place of stupid. So it's like if we were to do this, if somebody were to do the same thing with black, oh man, that's black. We'd be pissed off. Like why you gotta use the word black in place of stupid? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's the same with that. Like you just call everybody with some kind of mental issue, or even if you don't have a mental issue, you just need somebody to talk to, somewhere to get it out. Because a lot of black men don't have nobody to talk to. We just go to work, go back home. We probably talk to whoever serving us drinks at the bar, or at the club or something. And you might not have no homeboys to talk to because your homeboys might try to clown you or something like that, or just brush it off. Ain't nothing wrong with you, sit your ass down. You know what I'm saying? So even if I hate when we link therapy with mental illness. You don't have to be mentally ill to go to therapy. And a lot of that is the problem.
Absolutely. Somebody actually asked the question, what if it's the parent?
What if it's the parent, like as in
and the parent putting their life on the kid?
That's tough because it's a lot of parents that don't even know they're doing that, and they don't care to know. They're not even trying to see if that's what they're doing. They all they know is, oh, this how I was raised, and I turned out okay, so I'm gonna raise you like this. You'll be
Hmm.
okay.
The
And
same
a
way
lot of
that
that happens.
the same way that
Go ahead, my
like
bad, my bad.
no, I was just saying the same way like for once these old white men get out of the government, we can finally move forward. Is the same
Hmm.
way when there's no offense. I'm sorry, I have love parents. Once our older generation that hates therapy, once they're
Young.
gone and we can say, hey, listen, go get therapy, it's okay, then the next generations will be better. But at this point in time, when you're like 50, 60, 70, you just set in your ways to do it.
And it starts at a younger age too. I work in the school system,
Yeah,
and I work in the
yeah,
capacity of security.
yeah,
Why is there security at the schools? There's a lot going on in our school system with our young men and young women of color, because I work at a school predominantly, it's us, um, that parents ain't talking to their kids about. I know this because they come and talk to me when certain things happen, and I have to sit down and figure out what the issue was and where it came from, and why did you do this and why did you do that. And it goes back to if we could catch them at this age, and they teenagers now, so they kind of set, you know, once you get a certain age and you feel a certain way, you kind of set in your ways. Um, if we, I wish more parents would be involved in what's going on in our school system. I ain't even gonna lie. I really didn't want to do this job and this work, but now that I'm doing it, I'm in it for the long haul because I
yeah.
see what's going on, doc. And I'm like,
Hmm.
I've done every other type of security. This is the first time I ever did step foot into a school. And these are young people. Now, I have a job, and CJ know this. I got a job waiting for me where I'm dealing with older kids, or should I say young adults, in the school system in Georgia. But seeing this, that what goes on every day, and then you, why did you do that? Well, what happened? And they finally break down and tell you what's going on at home is crazy, doc. And I've worked for the government before in uh, what do we call it? They call them children's homes. I don't know if y'all know about that, but these are
I know
places
about them.
where yeah, young kids go that they don't have parents. They people don't want to deal with them, whatever the case may be, and sitting in there and reading these young men and young women's files of why they're in there is a problem.
So exactly what you said, right? Is it's for me, it's like sometimes it happens when we are going through so much, right? And when in our minds we don't have anybody to go to, then once we find that safe space where we do vent, that space tells us, "Oh man, you be all right, man. Just go. You just gotta keep your head up." You know what I'm
I
saying?
gotta say salute
You
to
know,
Veronica. That's
you
a
know,
hard job, man.
you
Go
doing
ahead.
too
I'm
much.
sorry.
You know what I'm saying? No, you good, good.
Whew.
So to
Thanks, Steve.
Mills, he said black men are allowed to vent with bars and the beat in the background on IG Live, holding a Draco. I'm actually glad you said that, bruh, because people hear that you can use music, as an expression, right? But they're not taught on how to use music as your expression. They go by what they see on this TV right now, which is like you said,
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, bars and beat in the background, holding the Draco. And this is what we have. We have these young kids. It's like Favorite, like you said, you see it every day working the security, walking the halls every day, seeing these kids. I used to tutor in elementary school. So,
Mm-hmm.
just me seeing, a lot of these things, man. Like these kids nowadays, they going through they everybody's going through something, right? and they just need a space where they're not judged. They just sometimes people just want to
That
vent
part.
without a response.
That
People
part.
just want to vent without a response, right? And like as a man at the end, right? As a man or as a young man, when we don't have nowhere to vent, we hold things in, and we have that mindset. It's like, oh, I'm a man, I should be able to handle it on my own. So I'm just gonna swallow whatever it is that I have, and I'm just gonna keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? And when you finally get in that space where it allows you to be vulnerable, you you unleash it in the wrong context.
Mm.
You unleash it in the wrong context, and the context can be anything, whether it's anger, whether it's violence, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol. And so we just need a safe space. We need
I
a safe space.
can I say this to who was that said that?
Let's
Let's
piggy
Um,
let's piggyback off of what Christopher is saying. Christopher,
yeah, because maybe it was Christopher. Somebody was asking how you deal with it. Um, my, my whole
go
deal is honestly being in the right place at the right time. Because it's gonna come a point in time, and I've worked, like I said, I've worked in the children's home to where the in none of the adults would talk to these kids about their situation. And when I went into the children's home, I was the youngest person there. So I was closer to their age, which was crazy after I think about it. Um, and it was one of my first jobs, but I was able to talk to them like nobody else on the campus was able to. I'm talking about girls and boys. I stayed in the boys' dorm with the boys, but girls would come to me and say, "Yo, we need to talk to you." "Hey, you want to talk to me? You got 6 women in your cabin." But they didn't want to talk to them. They want to talk to me.
well,
ahead.
And it's
I've done a lot of youth development too, and I think
yeah,
that's due to not talking down to them and
that part.
not
I,
talking at them and talking to them, right? So I think you might have a big future in youth development in general. The way you talking, man. You ever thought about getting back into it?
I'm thinking about it because honestly, I was forced into this because I was looking for work. 'Cause CJ know my situation.
Yeah, yeah.
He
But
know it more than anybody. But
but listen here, man. Like really, if you're looking to get back into that, I got some connections here in DC. Where definitely, they're willing to, definitely hear you out and stuff like that. I work hand in hand with the youth as well. I'm a part of an organization, called Often, where it's pretty
I
much,
heard of that.
the
Okay.
organization to help others in need. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
we focus on, helping the general public, but we have a youth program where we in the arts, where we allow, students to come to the art center, and they perform in a play called Where Eagles Fly. I'm not sure if you guys heard
Hmm.
of it yet. I would definitely post a link if you guys haven't seen it. But it's a very unique play, and it gives the youth to get into something that shows them history and teaches them, a thing or two, and actually, like Veronica said, social emotional learning.
Mm,
Hmm.
that's what's up.
It's it's being open too, especially at a younger age. They're they're trying to learn everything, but there's a lot of adults that cut them off and won't talk to them. I'm talking about the kids. That's an
Absolutely.
issue. That's a problem, bro. Like I have so many kids come to me and say, "Dang, I wish mom and pops was like you." Like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
So one thing that I
So
do want to do, I don't mean to cut you off.
no, you
One thing I
good, you good.
one thing I do want to do is I want to go ahead and really address Christopher's comment,
Okay.
because this is definitely, you
Yo, let's
know,
get part one and part two. He got a
yeah.
part two as well.
So two things to ponder is: number one,
Uh,
access to healthcare. Black Americans and other groups of color don't have the same type of access to healthcare, and that's a problem. Much of it stems from the financial gap. Let me go to,
So I wanted to piggyback off of that too because I didn't
all
really get
right,
a
go ahead.
chance to say anything, but I was thinking like we got two issues here. So we're talking about men getting therapy, and then we're talking about the type of men that we are, right? So
Mm,
we're black men, right? So
Mhm.
that's a whole nother discussion, even when it comes to
yeah.
healthcare, right? Because a lot of black men might not have the access to the healthcare to where the therapy is even
They don't know.
where it's even affordable, right?
Mhm.
Some, because if you're working, you're still gonna have to pay your copay and et cetera, right? So certain healthcare plans don't even cover it, or might even cover just a fraction of it, right? So it might be a bill you not ready to take on. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And we
Yes.
gotta find motherfucking a therapist that we comfortable with, just like a doctor, because at the end of the day, it is healthcare, right? So you gotta
Mhm.
find a practitioner that you comfortable with.
Absolutely.
Hopefully the person's black and understand what you've been through, right? But you may be comfortable with someone who isn't, but still you got to find someone you comfortable with. So I was thinking about that same shit. So I just
Well,
wanted to piggyback off of that.
that was one of the things that I actually was talking about. This was like maybe 3 or 4 days ago,
Mhm.
um, as a part of like what I wanted to create, and I was thinking about like ways of giving back as I go through my my entrepreneurial journey. And what I was like is like that's the one thing that I felt like we don't really have direct access to, but then also the demographics of which sections of which. And so what I mean by that is I want to be able to over time be able to create a charity or something that we can have that's just dedicated to black men in mental health or black people in mental health, but it allows for scholarships for people who want to get into the therapist industry because it's
Mhm.
so needed to be able to provide scholarships for them to go to school to learn this, but then also to provide that bridge, that gap, right? If we had the financial capacity, which is what I've been learning, and that's my whole entrepreneurial journey is to do, is if we're able to be able to bridge that gap to say, hey, listen, pay you a majority of it and they only have to pay a little bit of it, it starts to bridge that gap where we can have more men who are black men, black women who are therapists, but also black men and black women therapists for gay people, for people of the LGBT community, for trans people, for polyamorous people. I mean, we think of black people as just one conglomerate, but then you take black men and black women and you break it down to what does a black man who is also a part of the LGBT have to deal with, or somebody
Hmm.
or a black woman who is also a part of that community have to deal with.
Absolutely.
Also, if you're polyamorous and you decide you want to have multiple partners, there's so many more segments once you break it down. But it's like we don't even right at the surface level, right? So it's
Yo,
like
my man
Right.
that's
preaching
one.
right now.
Yeah,
My
That's
man,
one
definitely.
of the, like
my man, my man is preaching right now. I just wanted to say that he preaching right now. Go ahead, continue, brother.
Yeah,
He
definitely.
preaching right
so
now.
that's just one of the things. It's like it's it's so hard to dissect the entire picture because just being black by itself is hard, and then we haven't even broke down age, the age gaps, the different demographics, to who we are as individuals. Because damn, just being black right now is hard enough as it is. And
Hmm.
so it's like it's one of the
Dang.
things that I've thought about. Like just a few days ago, I was like, we need that. It's something we have to build for the future. We just got to.
Yeah, and we talking
Absolutely.
about therapy. I fought against therapy for the longest.
Yeah. So
And
Tavius,
then
Me too.
Ta-
I was like, I need
no.
it now. I got to get it. I have to.
Yeah, because
Tavius, after this show, let's link up. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk.
oh
We're gonna talk after the show. All right, Tavius. So
yeah, I was forced into therapy. And it was the best thing, bro.
How old were you?
Whew, about 22, 23. When I first started, I was forced into it. And then once I got into it, it was like, once they made it, the counselor made it known that, yo, you can say whatever to me. I ain't going to say nothing to nobody. And made it clear that that's what was going on. And I got comfortable in my sessions. Bruh, it was like an open door, like, oh, I can come and talk to them about anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
hmm
that's the whole deal. Like, even older, shoot, in certain situations, I suggested, like, get you a counselor, talk to somebody. It's easy, and it's hard for us though, because you know how we are. We don't want to talk to nobody about what's going on with us.
We don't.
That's a that's a personal thing, bro. I'm not finna tell these folk my. But when you do, and you get all this stuff off your chest, Oh,
My man
And
Slim,
then
my man Slim said an unwillingness to discuss mental health stem from decades of our elders keeping issues strictly within the family.
I agree.
That line of
Yes.
thinking is how a lot of
yep.
black families move today.
Man, give
I
him
agree.
applause for that, man.
Yep.
Give him
That's
applause for
Remember
that's
that.
that? I
that's
know.
100.
You know this. If you had a gay cousin, they weren't gay, they were touched or special. If you had an
Hmm.
uncle who was not of somebody any kid should be around, it was don't go to the police, keep it in the family. It's a bunch of traditions that we gotta break because that shit's just
Yeah.
not cool.
Right. That part.
So,
And then
you
on
know,
top of all
Tennessee.
that, let's not. My bad. Go ahead.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say on top of all that, let's not because I used to be in the Navy. Let's not forget the black man that's in the Navy. Whether even if they want to go and get therapy, whether they can or not, first of all, and then when you get to the Navy, when you get to military help,
Uh,
it might not even help them because I know a few people that were on my ship that got misdiagnosed, and we didn't know that they got misdiagnosed until after they got out. Because
Oh
I
wow.
had, I had one guy that was on my ship who went to therapy, and he actually got suggested therapy by one of the doctors on the ship because they make you go to the doctor on the ship first. Then, if that doctor feels like you should go somewhere off base, then they're going to send you off base. And
mhm.
the doctor on the ship was like, "Well, yeah, man, I think you got." He went for ADD or ADHD, I think, or ADD, I think it is. And the doctor on the ship was like, "Well, no, I don't think you have ADD. I think you have depression. I think you're showing signs of depression."
Mm.
And he sent him he sent him off base to a doctor off base. Came back. I said, "Well, what did they say?" He was like, "Man, they bet." And I promise you, I'm not joking when I say this. It's gonna sound like I'm joking. He was like, "Man, they told me," and she told me I'm having a rough go of it
A
in
Wow.
the
rough go.
military. Yeah,
Wow.
If
you
that
just
doesn't
having a
sum
tough
up
time in the
everything,
Navy.
I
What the
don't know
fuck?
Wow.
what else does.
Yeah,
What the
but
fuck
he
does that?
didn't.
Yeah, like what the fuck does that mean? What do
Same
you
thing as
guys?
when they
Wow.
tell us, "Hey, man, it be like that sometimes."
Right. So
That's
he got out.
crazy.
He got out, and I keep in touch. I tried my best to keep in
Wow.
contact with anybody that was on my ship. Anybody I fuck with, because some of the motherfuckers I don't fuck with like that. But I try to keep in contact with him, and he told me one day, "Hey man, so I went to the VA and got because he's out now too. He was like, man, I went to the VA and got went to a therapist, and they diagnosed me with I think he said it was mild depression and major anxiety."
Mm.
And so
Mm.
I think he takes Prozac, and he has a therapist that he sees. He got the option of taking Prozac. They didn't force him or nothing like that. They just asked him if that was for something he felt like he wanted to take. But they went in, he was like, they went in depth. Whereas when he was active duty and he talked to the person in active duty, he talked to them for like 15 minutes and they came up with that conclusion that, oh, you just having a rough go of it in the military
Wow.
after 15 minutes. So that's and he's not even black. So being black in the military, and then you trying to, you, after you get past all the stereotypes and all the other problems with just being black and wanting to go to therapy, then you got to deal with being black and being in the military and wanting to go to therapy,
That's crazy.
and then actually getting help once you go.
That's crazy. I for sure thought he was black in that story. I for sure that was a black man getting treated like that.
And the
I
problem
mean,
is he probably not black because a lot of my black shipmates were probably going through some of the stuff we already talked about in their head and was like, nah, I ain't going. The military just hard. I ain't gonna go. That's probably what it is. So I don't know a lot of them that even went.
yo, that's oh
Man.
Slim said something about military. He's a vet. You see him
Yeah.
right there?
So yeah, I do want to say this, right, because Kennedy did say something that really stood out to me. Sometimes the other parent is mad at the other parent and put ideas in the child's head. How do you notice it? To be honest, man, it depends on how close you are to the kid, right? Because to be honest, you're not gonna know if you don't have like a if you have a far connection from that child. But like if you're in a school setting where favor sees these kids every day, then to be honest, man, sometimes you know let them vent, pull them to the side. You know what I'm saying? Allow them to vent. Let them feel like they can be vulnerable
And
because
for a minute, it was a problem. Like with with
Yo, your man
teenagers.
Tennessee is calling right now, right? You want me to
all right,
promote?
yeah. Kennedy, we got to call
With,
her. We got to call her.
yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
All right, go ahead. You can talk. I'm gonna
No,
put
I
you.
was just gonna say with teenagers, you have to give them their chance to do it because they don't open up like that too quickly. So
I
I
know that,
just
but that's why I was sitting up chilling and talking shit. And I'm like, do I have to have a beard to get on this motherfucker? I'm
oh
like, damn, I'm
Nah,
sitting in the
man.
back chilling.
I laughed that very
I
bad
ain't got no beard. I
Kennedy.
ain't got no beard,
Larry
dog.
with the
All
camera.
right, we got our first.
I'm keeping my what's called covered up. I'm not even.
Hey, no, I'm good right here. I'm like, damn, I gotta have a beard. Go with, I'm like, dog, I gotta draw my shit on. The goddamn, I gotta put on a t-shirt that say I have a beard to get on this motherfucker. I'm like, I'm talking the same shit y'all talking. And out there, that nigga beard looks serious.
bruh, I'm
Hey, but
That,
jealous, dog.
that,
that's crazy.
I thought I was doing something, and then,
that
and,
nigga Larry beard looks
bruh,
serious. That nigga beard is so serious.
I thought I was doing something, and then I met Larry.
Dog, that
Look,
nigga is got black nigga mud all on him with that beard. You walk up on that nigga, dog.
Yo,
That
Kennedy,
look.
nigga, nigga, dog.
Let me ask you this, Kennedy. First off,
Yo,
man,
what?
how you doing, man? I appreciate you for calling into
Man,
the
hey, how you doing, man? Salute to all y'all, man. I just be in the background talking shit.
Hey, salute, man.
I
Hey
understand
man, look,
everything y'all saying.
we glad and happy that you called in, man. So what's going on, man? I know you said you wanted to speak your story. So won't you go ahead and
Yeah,
tell us?
no, man, because I understand y'all's story, and I've been trying to get people together against this family court and child support shit for the longest. So I understand everything that goes along with it and how they tear the kid away from fathers, all that.
Mm.
But that nigga did. I'm back on
Yes,
that.
man.
Yo,
Stuck on
Kennedy.
the
Yeah.
beard.
Yo,
How
Kennedy.
did you grow an afro on your face?
You said an afro on your face. Yo, Kennedy.
Yo,
You can you hear me?
yeah,
All right, listen to me. You have a concept of your channel and or your lives. You go live at times, and it's called throw therapy, right? So let me ask you,
yeah.
where do you stand when it comes to therapy?
With therapy, I I sit up and I think of it like, what do you think of, and what makes sense to you? It may not make sense to other people, but it makes sense to you. And then if it makes sense to another motherfucker, then you and them get it. And then after that, it might be thrown out to other people, but it makes sense later.
But that's
So
throw therapy. That's
it's
throw.
sort of
Hold on,
thinking
hold on, hold on.
ahead.
Hold on. That's throw therapy, though, right? We talking about therapy in general. What's your take
Oh,
on therapy in general? Like, is this something you ever done? Would you ever get official therapy outside of venting on YouTube and shit?
no, because all you have to do is understand yourself. And then you have to sit around somebody that will actually listen to you. That's all they doing is somebody to listen to you.
I mean,
That's basically what therapy is somebody listening to you
I'm
and
not.
you then.
I'm not gonna. That's definitely a part of therapy, but they also have like degrees and ways to diagnose certain conditions and things like that. You feel you good on that?
Yeah, hey, you know what? You have to tell a motherfucker when they trip.
Right.
Like, like when you listen to a motherfucker talk, you be like, hold up now. Now you crazy. At that point, you just have to tell them the truth.
So they paid to, as long as you don't say you're gonna hurt anybody or yourself, to keep your secrets and tell you if you're tripping. So with that being said, would you ever do official therapy, or is you just gonna stick with the throw therapy? How do you say that, man? Say that shit.
Yeah, throw therapy is therapy. It's like throwed out, but it's therapy. I would actually tell you when you are crazy.
So
I'm
you,
not gonna sugarcoat that shit. I'll be like, motherfucker, you crazy.
all right, but
Just
that
straight up.
that makes you the therapist now. That's we going somewhere else now.
Yeah, that's what the whole therapy is. I would listen to your problems. I'd be like, motherfucker, you just had like, if I hear a serial killer talking to me and shit, I'd be like, motherfucker, you done lost it.
Mm-mm.
All right,
You need to go turn yourself in.
CJ, any questions based on what he said earlier? Do you have, or you have any last thoughts, Kennedy?
Man, shout out to that nigga, big.
He done went on camera.
I
Hey
never
man,
seen a nigga grow an afro on his face, dog.
hey, Kennedy,
Upside down
man. Look,
asshole.
to answer your question though, right? To answer your question is to answer your question, right, about
Okay, okay.
about the child being torn in the situation. I do want to say is, just try to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? And they might shy you away a few times, but you can't give up. After the first few times. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep,
Nah, nah.
having your arms open.
You give him like 2 times. You be like, first time you be like, hold up. In your mind, you be like, hold up. And you try to talk to them. Second time, if they still on that fuck shit, you be like, now you got to tell them you gonna need to do something drastic to change in your life because you tripping at that point.
Well, that's not how we always have to approach things. Think about us growing up. Like our
Exactly.
parents always wanted us to tell them whenever we did something wrong. But whenever we did something wrong, it wasn't like they were like, "Hey, this is why you can't do it. This is why you shouldn't do it, and I have to punish you." We all got whooped, beat, screamed at, yelled at,
Man, I got
right?
beat with an extension cord.
Right. So when you think about it,
Man.
it's like, well, if that's going to be the recourse of me opening up, what am I going to do? I'm going to reserve it. So a lot of this has to deal with us just being able to go, but I have to reserve it because if I lash out in the wrong way, my child is now going to be reserved. My child is not going to come to me. It doesn't mean don't discipline. It means have the conversation so they know why they're or if
Exactly.
they don't need any discipline because it's a mental health thing, let them know that hey, this is okay. Like please, I want this. You should do this. If you ever have a problem, you should feel 100% comfortable because all of us, especially in our generation, we can all see times where we felt like we wanted to say something, but it's like, nah, the consequences is not worth it. I'm not getting beat for that.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
I
And
agree.
sometimes people notice when people taking advantage of the situation, and then they're sitting up correcting that shit because
Mm.
they'll sit up and see you gullible to they fuck shit. So
We came
they'll
from
correct your
all of us come
goddamn
from the
situation.
era of getting away with it. Like we all was manipulative kids who try to get away with anything. Our kids can't get away with nothing. We snuck out, we drank in the house, smoked and did all that. Our kids can't get away with nothing.
No, I
Got to be able
definitely
to talk.
smoke in my. I definitely got away with smoking in my bedroom and in my
I
bathroom and
grew up
shit.
in a Jehovah Witness house.
I don't listen to that.
Bruh.
Ooh.
I was just going to say, my parents' pastors, both of them.
You know,
And
my
look at
mom.
what we were. You know what I'm saying? Our kids can't get away with
Bruh.
it. Mama
we
still
got
let
we yeah, we got away with a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And look, I'm with Tavius on this one, man. We gotta try a different approach. It's we can't try to approach that they approached it with us. We're a whole different breed. You know what I'm saying? This is a
Mm-hmm.
new breed, so we gotta approach differently with this era of youth. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it.
Hey, but when he said he was a Jehovah Witness, that's a whole nother thinking process. And religion has something to do with this whole thing too, because you never know the religious background of people.
I think some people do use the church as a form of therapy, and instead of going to therapy, at least traditionally in our community. I could definitely
Mm-hmm.
say that.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
There's counseling. I don't know what background everybody is, but I know in different church, like my dad and my mother have been pastoring for years, and they counsel people.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's if you want it though. It's a lot of people that don't want the therapy. They don't want to talk about it.
Right.
That's the issue for real. For real.
And Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't celebrate any holidays, so they don't understand Christmas and holidays like we celebrate them. So it's two different mind frames of that shit. You get me?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But
religion is religion.
no offense to you, Tennessee, but this is the same thing that we're talking about. Like you just literally went and put a box on something that didn't need one. Why? Like I understand where you're coming from. Like they don't celebrate holidays. That don't mean we ain't grow up watching everybody celebrate all the holidays that we didn't, right? So why do you get to put your thoughts and emphasis on something that you didn't even grow up in? That's our problem. We shouldn't do that. And you're like, oh, this person, oh, sometimes they be tripping. We have to say those things. Sometimes it's the best recourse is just to go, I don't know. And I don't understand it. So I'm gonna let it go. I grew up in the Jehovah's Witness household, so I went to a whole different ballpark than you. So how can you
Absolutely
speak to
right,
my
right, absolutely. I definitely want to thank Kennedy for joining us, man. We can talk all day about this, but we do have to move on. There's other comments that we do got to address.
Shout out to
Um,
that nigga Beard.
but man, I appreciate you, Kennedy, for coming on, man, and hopefully this is first of many.
He grew an afro on his face,
This show,
dog.
This
All
guy,
he ain't
man.
gonna let it go.
You have a good one, all right, man.
right, man. Salute, Kennedy. Salute, y'all.
For sure.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, go
All
ahead.
right, now you good, yo. Let's get us to everybody. But Christopher, man, he actually really just hit the nail on the coffin once again. He said we have to
Oh,
really go through therapy,
mhm.
even if we are in our 30s or 40s. It hurts me that
Mm-hmm.
as a POC is that my oldest will try to hug and kiss me, but I shy away because I never got that.
Mhm.
Mm.
And I mentioned that personal case because I never felt comfortable to show sensitive emotions or physical love. Therapy can help us unlock it so we don't pass our sins on to our sons. You feel me?
Facts.
Absolutely.
Facts.
Absolutely. You just
Applause,
spoke a
man.
bunch, man. You
Right.
spoke a bunch, man. And
y'all remember that picture that went viral? There was like a picture that went viral of a dad with his daughter. He had on Jordans, he had on basketball shorts, a regular shirt, but he had a little pink tutu. That was it. Dancing with his
Mm.
daughter, having fun.
Yeah.
Everybody went wild, crazy. Oh my God, I could not. It wasn't like he was in a
Mm-hmm.
full blown dress with a bra and makeup. He literally just had the little tutu, and the world went crazy. Why? Because that one little symbol, he didn't care about us. He didn't care about you, me, the world. All he cared about was giving his daughter a fun time. And that little thin veil of tutu gave the world enough to go,
and
I could
see
never do that shit.
and see just the world that we live in, right? With us men who are very comfortable with our sexuality, when we do things like, we try to give our daughters the world, right? Not saying that, Favor will wear a tutu, you know what I'm saying, for his little girl, but you know
I
what I'm
don't know,
saying,
dog, but you know, no, she older
Don't lie,
now. I
you'll put
wouldn't
that
do
shit
that
on.
now. But Rock did. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk about the Rock. look,
but
look how
I
Larry looking
mean,
right there.
you know,
but he did though.
yeah, he did.
I mean, he did it.
So you
I've
know,
seen it. So hey,
it's
go
one of
ahead.
it's one of those things where we have to get over that. You know what I'm saying? As you know, not only as African American community, but African American men itself. You know,
Yeah,
we have to get over pointing fingers at the next guy for going above and beyond for his kid, right? You know, because maybe the reason why he did that because he didn't have that. He didn't have, the parenting where they would go above and beyond for them. You know what I'm saying? And so
that
that's what he
part.
want to do. You know, I
Hmm.
can't I can't say that that's what the situation is, but man, for Chris for what he said, it's like I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. And you just try to open up, man. Try to open up with open arms. Like for me, 2 3 years ago, man. Let me tell you something. I didn't hit the lowest of lows for myself, right? I hit the lowest lows for myself. For 14, 15 years straight, I've been working my ass off. You know what I'm saying? I've always had a job. I've been constantly working. Pandemic hit, boom. I lost my job. I ain't worked for a whole year. I was broke. My face was scruffy as it is now. You know what I'm saying? That's because, I'm just letting things, grow. And we ain't gonna talk about that right now. But but I lost my job,
Yeah, we've talked about.
I'm saying? But 3 years ago, I hit the lowest of my lows. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, be honest with you, I didn't know who to talk to about, right? I didn't know how to vent. You know what I'm saying? I didn't
Mm.
know who to go to. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So what happened is, I was working on myself. You know what I'm saying? Started working on myself, and instead of me fully getting through the journey and the process, I did it half ass. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it was. Did it half ass, and I tried to get into a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I fucked that up because I wasn't fully healed for what I was going through. You know what I'm saying? I was still going through the shit. I was still going through depression. I was still at my lowest, to where I didn't really have nobody to talk to. And honestly, right now there's only a few people who really knows that story. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm.
now where I am now is I've gotten the chance to work on myself. I took 2 years to work on myself. I'd worked hard on building myself to where it is. And here comes the BKE podcast. Here come the Hog Side, my sports podcast. Here comes the Bird's Nest, my other sports podcast. And I'm using this as a way of my therapy. This is my therapy.
Mhm.
And, I'm taking the time to actually making myself vulnerable, and where I'm at now, I'm in a state of happiness. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a state of happiness. I love myself. There's nothing bad about myself that I don't love. You know what I'm saying? We all have flaws. We all have things that we know that we could do better. And but right now I am in a great sense of happiness. I have a beautiful woman who supports me 100% and loves me the way that she wants to, and wants me to be the best every day. No matter if I don't think that I can be the best, she thinks that I can be the best. You know what I'm saying? So, I tell people, man, like it's going to be a journey. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I want to tell people is don't be afraid to admit that there's something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be afraid to admit the shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna judge you, right? And if somebody do judge you, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? They going through some shit too. You know what I'm saying? If they judge you, fuck them. They going through something too, so they judging you. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, I just tell people, don't be afraid to acknowledge that something is going on in your life that you have to work on.
Hmm.
Mm. Hey, I appreciate you opening up like that.
Said that, man.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because because I was that guy. Like I was that guy was like, nah, man, I'm too hard and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm too hard. So I'm a man. I can't feel vulnerable. I can't allow myself to feel vulnerable. I gotta soak in whatever the fuck is I'm going through, and I gotta keep pushing because as a man, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's not what I'm supposed
until
to
we're
do.
more open like that, everybody gonna keep suffering. Our black women suffer, our kids suffer until we do it.
Man,
And our friends
I'm telling
suffer
you.
because they can't even get the real version of us. They get the fake version of us. We around our friends faking it because we all hurting, but we all can't even open up to each other. So it's
Tell
like,
me, look,
you're right.
I'm gonna ask y'all this. I'm gonna ask y'all this. 2 years ago, ask me if I see myself doing a podcast.
Hmm.
Ask me.
Well, do you?
Would you?
No. 2 years ago, I did not see myself doing a podcast. Why? Because I didn't think that I was good enough to do it. I always love
I've
podcasts
been
though,
there.
right? I
Yeah.
love radio shows. This is what I love. I love talking sports. I love just talk about shits and giggles and things like mental health and black history and the black community, what needs to be better. I love talking about that with my friends, right? But I got a calling. I got a calling. Instead of just talking it amongst my friends, let me talk to it amongst my future friends, my future family. And that's you guys who's watching, and that's you guys who's listening in on this. Y'all my family. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are my therapy. Y'all are my therapy.
That's
Y'all are my
facts.
safe space. Y'all are my safe space. And I want to thank y'all for being my safe space. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all to death, man. That's my story.
But you know what? You can relate to Kennedy on that one. Then Kennedy said his show is his therapy.
Uh, I think
But can
everybody do cards feel the same way. Go ahead. My bad.
They
I
asked you what
agree.
you was doing, Larry.
Why you? I'm watching along with you.
Candy must be talking
I
about
have
when
no
your
idea what you're
screen
talking
went
about.
off.
Yeah, Candy was saying your screen was off a long time, so
I was laughing my ass off. That's wrong with you.
Miss Linda, I want to
I ain't gonna,
thank you. You know what I'm
I ain't gonna say
saying?
what I was
She
laughing at.
said, I applaud you brothers for keeping it real, praying that this is the beginning of yet greater things to come.
salute.
Well, you know what?
facts.
So since opened up, I guess I don't want him to be alone in this opening ceremony. So for me, I had got to a point in time where I was drowning myself in I had got my own place at like 19, right? Imagine being 19-year-old, you got your own, and I drowned myself in liquor and party clubs, and ended up losing it all, right? And I ended up being homeless, and I was living out my car, and it put me in the root of depression, where point where I contemplated and even tried suicide. Um, and then after I started to realize, all right, I don't want to do that because I don't want to put my parents in a situation for them to blame themselves. I still internally held it, right? I still internally held it. And for years, I internally held it. And what that did was end up costing me relationships, friendships, because I would always be so reserved, and that would come off as I don't care.
Mm.
He don't care. He don't got no feelings. It's like, no, I don't got no. It's not that I don't care. It's that I've been 3 years. I've been living out of my car and trying to do things myself. Well, no, 3 years I've been going through depression. A year of it was me living out of my car. It's like I'm the only one that gets it. I'm the only one that understands it. I'm the only one that's going to listen to it. And so it ended up pushing so many people away by me doing that. And then by the time it gets to a point where it boils over, now I'm lashing out. And now I'm like, you don't understand. But I never gave anybody an opportunity to understand. Right. And I never did. And so my depression kept going. And to the point where even when I got out of it, I got a good job. Then I became an entrepreneur, making six figures, loving it, thinking life was great. But in the back, it was always there, and it's always been there. And it's one of the things that I still battle with. I even made a post about it. Is I'm always scared I'm gonna lose it.
You
I feel like I got
always
to be
going
the
to deal
provider.
with it.
I feel like I got to be the provider for the people that are close to me, for for my life, for my family, my friends. I always feel like I got to provide, and that inkling of losing it and falling apart like eats at me when I don't speak on it. But I don't feel like I never felt like I could talk to anybody about it. because it's just who else is going to be there if I can't pay the bills? Nobody. Might as well eat it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of thing that happens even when men rise up. It's like we rise up, but then we always have this inkling in my mind. It's like, I'm gonna lose it all because what am I worth? I was just homeless. I don't even deserve. Now that you've gotten out of it, now that you're getting what you deserve, you don't even feel like you deserve it. You start to hit your own self in where it doesn't even matter. So
shoot your own self in the foot in the process. Let me ask you, how did you get out of it? How did you get out of it? Or was it synonymous with, the change of life?
So
or
for
was
me,
it after, your life changed that you still had to fight to get out of it?
so I finally got a place. So I rented out a room with like 8 other. It was a home with like 8 other people. You can imagine like living with 2 other people is annoying. 8 people, that was terrible, but it was a home. Like so, I was over the moon. But I ended up watching a movie called The Secret, and in my mind, I was in such a bad state and a bad rut. I was like, the Secret talks about just the universe gives you what you ask for. And I was like, well, what's the worst that can fucking happen, right? If I just be like, all right, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, it's just gonna happen. Worst case scenario, I'm still gonna be where I am. And so I kind of just started to just fake it. Like, you know what? I am happy. I am good. I am those things, right? I am rich. I am successful. I started to do, those things on a day, those affirmations, that meditation, things that people like, us don't want to talk about. I do meditate where I sit in silence by myself and just chill. Let my mind not think. I don't want to think. I don't want to overthink because I overthink everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I watched that movie, I sat back and I was like, what's the worst that could happen? And when I started to do that, it was the first time I started to realize, like, yo, we can craft our own future. We still need somebody to be able to vent to. We still need somebody to be able to go to, but we are the, orchestrators of our future. So for me, it just happened to be one random movie that I just ended up watching on Netflix called The Secret. And it just opened my eyes to a whole new world. And since then, that's why I jumped into entrepreneurship. That's why I started this sales and coaching thing so I could teach people how to, make, 6 figures working from home, just, talking and selling over the phone. I did that because to me, there was nothing worse that could happen. Right. And so that's what helped me out. And then ever since then, I started to like resonate in my own mind that I don't care what y'all think. Like, I don't care what the world thinks because y'all don't pay my bills. And that's why, like, if you look on my post on my page, I'm the person like the whole Little Nas X thing pop up and everybody expected me to be on boozy sides and I wasn't. I got clowned on by my brothers, by my family, clowned on. I was like, I don't care what Little Nas X is doing. They ain't got nothing to do with what about the kids. Well, if I got kids and I do right by my kids, they're going to be right no matter what it is. So I started to realize I'm going to do what makes me and the people around me happy. And I don't care if the echo chamber of the internet likes and comments on my post. I'm going to still do what I feel is best. And once I release that energy,
that's good.
The release of the energy of that
Glasses fell on, folks.
People online.
So you say you started using affirmations too, then?
Yeah, every morning.
That's another thing.
And I realize when I don't do that, when I'm not talking to myself in that powerful way, I can tell the difference. I start to spiral. I still deal with it. This is not something like I watched the video, I got over it. I deal with that shit to this day, right? But when I can sit here, put on my headphones that sit here. This is my office that we're in. I got my headphones right there. When I put on my headphones and just silence, relax for 10 minutes, and then just start affirmations, I'm good. I'm smart. I got this. You know what I'm saying? I'm a strong black man. I can be financially free. I'm going to be wealthy. Ever since I started doing that, my health, my wealth, and everything started to grow. And everybody else would be like, oh, that's that rah-rah. I don't care what you think about it because I'm happy. Right? That's what matters.
I gotta get past not using affirmations out loud, man. Because I got this thing against like motivational speakers and people who tell you, say you feel good today. I'm like, I'm not gonna say I feel good because you told me to say I feel good. Right? But at the same time, that shit works though. You know what I mean? Because there's been plenty of times I manifest a thought, you know what I mean, that I've said out loud.
Did it though, not because someone else
right.
You can't listen to somebody else. Yeah. You got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
So, what's crazy is I'm glad you said that, Tavius, is because affirmations is another part of my journey. You know what I'm saying? It's now what me and my me and my woman do is we choose every other day to text each other at nighttime, right? We text each other at nighttime, and it'd be like whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, how we feel about each other. And then in the morning, we send each other scriptures, Bible scriptures and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? To start the day off, you know what I'm saying? So, but affirmations is, every day you tell yourself you're great, you're worthy, you're a black king, you're going to get through the day. Whatever those affirmations is, you got to be consistent with it because, like you said, it'll grow your wealth, your health, and just your overall mantra. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
And if I could give one tip to everybody, especially as black men, the first thing you should do, don't look at your phone. The world is so negative. The moment you look at your phone and go on Facebook, when you first wake up, go take your shower, brush your teeth, drink your water. Do not look at your phone, no matter how hard. It bothers me to do it. Take that first 30 minutes of your day to just be with you and just you here by
mhm.
yourself. And watch how much better it is when you do run into it than the day, like the bad stuff
Yeah.
that does come up, it's not as bad. But when it's the first thing you see when you wake up, the day starts to spiral.
Yo, man, Trav been preaching all night, man. I
Yeah,
feel
he
like he
have,
said,
man.
I feel like he said one other thing that really struck home with me. He said, when he finally got to where he was going, well, obviously he has done his greatest work. Shit, he's going to be go even further, right? But when he started making the six figures and all that, he felt like he was going to lose it. And he felt he wasn't worthy some of the time, right? Like you had to fight those two feelings, and I could relate to that so much. You know what I'm saying? You really dropped the ball on that one
Security
because
is a motivation.
Hmm.
mm,
It is.
So,
He has been showing off, man. Been showing off. But go
but yo,
ahead, go
the
ahead, Josh.
self medication, right? The cannabis and all that. I want to say it hasn't helped that particular thought process too, because when you start to overthink and that's what's on your mind, how am I going to lose this? Do I deserve what I'm getting right now? You feel me? It
Mhm.
can make it to where it was almost fun to smoke weed when you were fucked up, right? When you
hmm.
actually get somewhere, you like, damn, I'm thinking too much about how I can lose this shit. You got to find peace before you even pick that up again. Crazy.
Yep.
Larry.
Oh, but hold on, my fault. Before we even my fault.
Hmm.
Warning. The opinions expressed in this program in their current state of mind, which they have the right to change at any given moment.
Look at
The
Larry like,
Ion Network and the members of the Ranters Union are not responsible for any claims made. All
Just, all right, go
Larry
ahead.
said, I
But to make sure.
approve.
All right,
I
Larry,
approve that
favor.
message.
Larry, favor. Did you guys want to open up a little bit before I ask this next question?
Go ahead, Larry.
I want to open up what now?
Like, do you want to tell your story? You want to, or before I ask this question again?
Well, I'm cool for right now.
All right, favor.
For
Ask
right
the
now.
question. Go ahead.
All right,
Because we've
so
been, yeah.
all right, so the next question I have here is looking back at your most deepest your deepest downfall and looking back at you now, are you satisfied? If not, what are you doing to achieve satisfaction?
Whew.
I need a little bit clarity of when you say your deepest downfall and then satisfied. Like satisfied with what? Like where you
So
are now, despite of your deepest downfall. Like
yeah, like it could be anything, right? It could be like when I say like your deepest downfall, it's like, wherever you feel like you was at your lowest, right? And you felt like, there was nothing that you could do. Looking back from then, to now, are you satisfied where you are now? And if not, what are you doing to achieve that satisfaction?
Hmm.
I'm gonna just go out and make it easy and start it off. I'm gonna say I never. I not I shouldn't say never, right? They say never say never. I want to say I haven't experienced a all out rock bottom moment, right? But I've experienced a like a a whole lot of fucked up moments, right? Like I can write a
Mhm.
whole, which I plan to do. I want to write a whole series of failures of mine, right? Like I've got a whole whole list of failures and stories where I fucked some shit up, right? But all of them, I can say that where I am in regards to all of those different failures, I'm definitely pleased with myself, but I'm never satisfied, right? Like I
Right.
still got further to go, right? But I can
Mhm.
definitely say for every fuck up, I had a victory, right? But
There
I've
we go.
definitely had a whole lot of lessons, whole lot of L's, whole lot of lessons. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna
Most
just say
definitely.
I'm building on mine. CJ know my biggest one here recently.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to get back to where I was at, but yeah, I agree with. I'm learning from what I've been through, um, to not go through the same things over again. It's I don't know. There's some situations that happen to me that I personally have never dealt with. I just look the other way and keep going. This time it hit me face up, like it's to where I had to literally recover everything because I lost everything. And I'm doing it a whole different way now that I'm older. Because when I was younger, I know it's a certain way that I would have did it, but now the maturity is there. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. It's different this time around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I will
Um.
say from my lowest point till now, I am happy with my personal progress. And if I took it personal standpoint, I would say I'm satisfied, but I'm not because I do feel like I won't be satisfied until black men are comfortable with therapy and mental health in general, which may not end, may not come in my lifetime, but like I want to be able to have like this panel here has just been so eye opening. Like to be able to do something further to further push this. That's where I want to go. So, am I happy from my rock bottom to now? Yeah, I'm good. Like I live a really good life. I moved from Maryland to Miami. I'm living in Miami now. I live a good life, but I'm not satisfied with the fact that I'm one of millions that have right
Hmm.
that I want to be able to break free of that too.
Yo, what is it about my? I got another friend of mine who's in Miami, living it up too. And when he comes up from his, penthouse in the sky and shit, his Wi-Fi is just like yours. What is it about Miami and Wi-Fi, yo?
Luxurious.
uh-uh.
Everything else is beautiful, but y'all Wi-Fi. I don't know. I'm seeing a consistency in my
Tra-
niggas who came up from Miami right now.
Travis said I don't
I
get it,
just moved here 3 months ago. I hate the Wi-Fi. It's the only thing I hate. Oh,
bro.
Wi-Fi
Yo,
and their drivers.
I
Florida
bet you,
drivers is trash.
I bet you there's a reason though. That's what I'm telling you. I'm noticing this shit. I
It's
bet you there's
probably
a
because the
reason.
drivers driving the Wi-Fi poles because they driving too fast. That's why.
Man,
Whatever.
say
If
congratulations.
there's
The
if there's
Wi-Fi
something
phone.
as an entrepreneur, you need to figure that out, yo. You need to see what is
I
lacking.
work from home. Trust me, I deal with this.
They want
Yo,
they
no,
want they want everybody
find
to
out,
be
bro.
outside.
It might be something you're going to invest in that's going to make you even richer. I promise you, man, because I'm seeing the consistency in the Miami Wi-Fi, yo.
And
Check them
find out what the
stocks, baby.
problem
Check
is, and
them
then figure out
stocks,
a solution.
baby. Check them stocks,
Yo,
baby.
Check the
it's something. It's a
stacks.
company or something, or
It's true.
somebody you need to invest in, or something you can do. Yo, there's something going on out there at the tip of the America.
All right. Am I so from?
Tip
I
of
just told y'all my
America.
story. So looking back at it, and look at where I'm at now. Am I satisfied? No, I am pleased where I am right now, right? But there's more. There's more that I want to get to. There's more that I want. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay to want more. That's another thing that I want y'all to learn. It's okay to want more. There is no limit to greatness. There is no peak to
Facts.
greatness. It's just only great. Your greatness is only what you make it to be. You know what I'm saying? So, am I pleased? Yes. Am I satisfied? Nah, because there's so much more. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the process of I'm trying to get a house. I'm trying to build a family. So yeah, there's so much more that I want out of life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to get it because I'm great, and there isn't no limit to my greatness. So
And you're not trying, you're doing it. You're in the process of.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, Larry.
Yeah, I echo what basically everybody else has been saying. I'm pleased with my progress, but in no way am I satisfied. Like I'm not gonna stop where I'm at. When I got out the Navy, I was only in the Navy for 4 years. I planned on staying in the military until I retired, but then I got in there and realized, I don't like this shit. I don't like this at all. I don't like going out on the ship and looking around and not seeing no land. I don't like that. And I didn't like the culture of the Navy either. That's a story for another time though. But so I got out and I had a direction, but it wasn't much of a direction. Um,
Just
if
going with the
if you
flow.
if you've ever seen Pirates, if you've ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean, I had Jack Sparrow's compass. It wasn't a compass that pointed north; it just pointed where you wanted to go most. It
Yes.
pointed to what you wanted the most. So, but I didn't really know how to get there, and I went to school for radio broadcasting, and I got lucky, and a friend of mine down here, because I only been doing this comedy thing for like a year, and I got a friend of mine down here started putting together shows himself, literally from scratch with local comedians, and he asked me to be like his, um, uh, what was the word? What was the term? Silent partner. And so I would put in money and help him get events and stuff like that. And then one day he was just like, "You should be, I got an amateur show coming up. You should be in it." And I was like, standing on stage in front of people talking. You should shut the fuck up because I don't know if I want to do that. But I have supportive friends here, and I trusted him that he's if he really feel like I can do it, and he telling me that I feel like that he feels like I can do a good job at it, and I would be good. I know I got friends that's not gonna let me get up in front of a bunch of people and make a fool out of myself. Um, so this comedy and the podcasting thing, even though I be lacking on the podcasting part, um, is that's where I'm going with that. So I'm satisfied. I'm pleased with where I'm going, but of course I'm not gonna stop. I'm not stopping. I still want to keep going.
That's what's up. Yo,
That's all.
is comedy therapeutic for you?
I was
Yes,
just about to ask that.
um,
Thank you.
because it's a little harder than just talking on Clubhouse or talking with your friends because I'm in the middle now of I go to work, get off work, go home, eat, handle whatever business I gotta handle, and then write material because I got a show coming up on the 20th. And I'm writing material, I'm testing out material with whoever I talk to. Anything that get a laugh, I go and write it down. Um, and it's therapeutic because you get a lot of stuff off your chest because it allows you to say it out loud. A lot of
Hmm.
time saying stuff out loud, it feels different, whether better or worse than you just thought about it for like 2 seconds in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There are a lot of things that I've said out loud by myself, and I was like, probably shouldn't say that around people. You probably shouldn't say that. Just leave that to yourself. Um, and then there are other things where I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't think about it like that.
Oh
And it's almost
gosh.
like having a conversation with yourself. Um, because the way I practice, and I was just in a comedy room on Clubhouse for it was like a workshop for comedy writers. Um,
Mm.
and I was telling them they asked everybody like, how do you get ready for a show? How do you do your material? And I was like, I write down bullet points. And because most of my comedy is coming from me, so it's not nothing I need to remember. This is just how I feel about all these things. And to put it together the way I'm gonna do it on stage, I just stand up in my house and just talk as if I'm already on stage
Mm-hmm.
and let it flow from one subject to another. And then once I get up there and talk, my first show was real therapeutic because I had people coming up to me like, "Yeah, man, I thought like that too about that." You know what I'm saying? And it's like you get people that tell you,
That's what it's all
"Yes,
about.
you are not
I
the only
agree.
one that think about these things in this manner. It's not just you." So it's real therapeutic. If I can get past that speaking in public part, I'd be okay.
You know what?
What's the name of your channel? What's the name of your channel? No, like your show.
uh, it's called the Church of Foolishness.
Oh,
Um, I got the I got the podcast, Instagram page and a Facebook page for it, and I got a
this
club on
dude,
Clubhouse for it too. The same name.
this
you said
dude is so.
it's on YouTube as well. Is the Church of Foolishness? Church of
It's
Foolishness?
not on YouTube.
Okay, you said it's on
It's not on
Facebook, right?
YouTube yet. Um, yeah, I got a Facebook page, Instagram page, and I got a club on Clubhouse.
I just
All with the
found you on
same name.
Facebook. I'm gonna add you on that on everything else, man. I got you, man.
This
Hey, yo,
dude
All
is.
Logic.
right.
Can I just say this dude is hilarious when he be talking, and he
Yeah,
don't
no,
even be
Larry.
trying to
This
be
like,
funny,
yeah,
man.
this guy Larry is hilarious, man. Like I can't begin to tell you.
To
Yo,
be in the
Logic.
clubhouse room, bruh. Go ahead.
Now you
I just
good. Yo,
look.
Logic. Let's do this. Let's try to plan like a virtual comedy show in the future.
That'll be fire. You know,
Oh, that would be hot.
I would definitely love to produce it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
Yeah, let's definitely we're gonna work on that. We're gonna
That
work
would
on
be
that.
hot.
You know what I'm saying? So Larry, we definitely gonna keep in contact with you. You know, you can try to make
Okay.
something happen. You
Uh huh.
know, it's the look. Let's thank the pandemic. You know that we are actually being very creative on how we perform because at first we was like, oh man, we got to do the show on stage and it's hard to find venues. We ain't got to worry about that
Hmm.
shit no more. You know what I'm saying? We can do this shit to comfort our own homes. You
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
and we after seeing a lot of these comedians do the stand up specials in the comfort of their own house, like Kevin Hart. You know, it definitely really raised the bar. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a fucking stage.
You don't.
You don't need to sell out Madison Square Garden.
And can I
You
say
know?
this? We got the perfect stage, Larry. Clubhouse, bruh.
Yeah,
Because I'm gonna tell you why. They just did a full musical, all
they
singers
did. They did.
acting of the Lion King, and
Yeah,
it was amazing. And
yeah.
they did all the auditions on Clubhouse.
They also did sing too. They
They
also did
just did
sing.
sing. Yep.
They just did sing.
They
And let
working
me
on a
tell
new
you,
one right
this
now.
is
The
amazing.
only
Yeah.
So
the only problem with that is if I do the church.
Uh-oh, we lost him. Did we lose you, Larry?
we lost your sound, brother.
Uh-oh.
We can't hear
I'm gonna
you.
need
Do
you to
something.
reboot. Do
He
like
was about,
this. And
he was about to drop the jewels too.
he was, and they was like, mute him. Don't you let them do that.
PC, don't come for me.
All right, let's try again.
Is he back? There's
Got
like
the,
All
he
right.
finna
we
say
got
it, cut his video
Try
too.
try going out and coming back in.
we got delayed cancel from the first topic of the show.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Cancel.
Bruh.
They was like,
Bruh.
man, this nigga Larry spitting. Let's
It's
get
like
him on real
he finna tell too much. Take him out.
quick.
Right. Clubhouse was like, yeah, y'all got like, the problem is y'all can't see, can't tell them.
Bruh. If he don't come back, we know what happened. Now look. Now I should be a no, I'm just playing. That's a good idea though. I would love to see that happen.
Yes, we gonna try to
I
make it
would I
happen, man.
would
Listen,
definitely partner in that. I would love to
listen.
see
I
that.
didn't honestly. I didn't think that my version of a versus was going to jump, but people loved the shit. You know what I'm saying? People loved it,
He
and
was.
we're getting ready to do another versus very soon, maybe in the
So
Mm.
springtime.
who you gonna have on your verses this time?
Candy, he was finna go in. That's why they cut him. You right. Go ahead, CJ.
So
I'm sorry.
I know last time we had the champion. Of course, we're gonna have the champion come back. With Dre. Dre's gonna come back. He is the champion, of course. So he's gonna come back. We're gonna have two different other DJs. We're gonna have two other different DJs. Not sure yet. And we're gonna choose a certain genre topic to go ahead and spin the records for,
Mhm.
and we're gonna leave it up to the people to see what's up.
So you do genres. You don't do artists. You do genres.
Yeah, so I know last time we did what was it? We did 90s. We did we
90s
did
R&B.
we did female R&B artists in the 90s. 90s R&B female artists.
Hmm.
So we did that. And man, the thing was jumping. The thing was jumping. So if you guys haven't seen it, go ahead and follow the BKE podcast channel on YouTube, and you will see it down there. You will see it down there. You just got to scroll down a little bit, and you're going to see it live in the profile. So Larry, back to you, man. What you about to say?
All right. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
sir.
we
you
hear
got
you.
all
Okay.
green bars over here now.
But I felt like somebody granddaddy. Now how the hell this thing work?
Baby, man,
Pressing
this
buttons and
damn
shit,
thing.
trying to about to get my nieces. Come in here and show me how this thing work now. Don't come here. Pressing like every time I look at myself in the camera, I see my hand go down, I just think about my granddaddy just trying to like look at my hand over the which button do I press? But no, when I started the Church of Foolishness on Clubhouse, I had already had a podcast, but it wasn't of that name. It was called well, I had the lamest name. It was called Conversation Nation. I just threw a name on there. Like let me just don't start it. Cause you know how you have an idea and you be like, well, I don't want to start it yet because it ain't perfect. And somebody was just like, just do the shit. Stop worrying
Right.
about it. Fix it after you start it. So I just started it with that name, and I would tell people like we workshopping the name. We got focus groups telling us what kind of name. So I came after I got on Clubhouse. I came up with the Church of Foolishness because I was looking for a club to make, and I was like, I could rebrand my podcast and call it the same thing. And on Clubhouse when I started doing comedy, I wanted it to be something similar to the 85 South Show without trying to like really take the idea. But then I thought about it like all they do is sit and talk. You can't take the idea of sitting and talking. So
Hmm.
because I don't want to really do. I thought about doing actual shows on Clubhouse, but it's
Mhm.
hard because you don't really hear nobody laughing. And let's just be real, people still on Clubhouse. People still
Right.
they still like they gonna get money from that shit. And I'm not gonna mention no names, so I know I
That's
had one
facts.
idea stolen.
Uh-oh.
So if I was to do anything on Clubhouse like that, it would be just strictly like how we talking now, strictly off the dome. Because I've learned that I'm real good at improv.
Mhm.
I'm better at improv than I am having to sit down and prepare something. So improv will probably be better. I like going in improv rooms, and Favor already know. It's something I like to do sometimes when ain't none of my friends ain't no room, and I be bored. I change my
Bruh.
photo on Clubhouse to the photo of an African man and use my African accent, and just go to different rooms where people don't know me and see how many people I
Bruh.
can fool.
He be killing it too.
I promise
Bro, I'm
You know,
telling you.
you,
What is this African guy into? What is
so
his
so so his name is Emmanuel Tonda, and he is into whatever
Look how easy he went into that.
whatever the women are into. I can't change
Bruh.
my name yet because the name is still Larry because the white man who picked me up at the airport gave me
right,
that name because he can't pronounce my African name, so he just said,
right,
"We'll call you Larry.
right?
We just call you Larry." So I
Where's
would go
where's
to a
where's
room.
he from?
I am from South Africa, but I spent a
South
lot a
Africa.
lot of a lot of time here because I'm light skinned. See, so
Mm-hmm.
people would ask me because I used to do this at work and on the ship. I was in the Navy, and people would ask me,
Holy
"Why are
shit.
you African? Why are you light skinned?" So my father is white and my mother is black. My
Yeah.
father is from South Africa because that's where the white people go when they go to South Africa, and then my mother is from Nigeria. So
Okay.
so so they met each other down there. He's one of those Christian white men that go to Africa to tell everyone about Jesus. He just
Yeah.
stayed.
Missionary. A
Yes, the
missionary.
missionaries. Yes, I
Mm.
don't use the word because people
You
think I'm
know
talking
what?
about sex. I don't like
I
using the
don't,
word.
I don't like that dude, bro. That's it.
So let
So I
me
do
let
that.
me.
I do that and try to practice sometimes because when I was in radio broadcasting school, I tried to get into still trying to
Bruh.
get into voice acting too.
Okay.
But I tried to work on that.
That's fire.
So let me ask this. As a comedian, like, what is one of the hardest things that you had to encounter as a comedian, like in your profession?
Uh, Writing material when you're not on tour. Like I'm not going to different. I need to start doing that because there are a few comedy clubs here in Birmingham, and there are a few places here in Birmingham. They aren't necessarily comedy clubs, but they have comedy nights. Um, but I work, so I don't. I end up not. I don't go there. Um, so doing that, like, 'cause a lot of comedians use other smaller comedy clubs, like what they would call like the chitlin circuit for black comedians. They use that to hone their material, and then after that, that's when they do the specials that you might see on Netflix or something like
Mm,
that. And so, just writing material and using like my own personal chitlin circuit would be like people I know at work, family, friends. When I go over a friend's house or something, Clubhouse is a big one. Um, that's like my version of going to different comedy clubs, curating my material, finding new material, stuff like that. Um, and also for me personally, two other things. One, when you tell people or other people tell folks that you are a comedian, and then you get that one person that's just like, say something funny, man. Tell me a joke. I don't have jokes in my back pocket. Like what the
yeah, and it's crazy.
and then looking like another famous comedian. That's the worst part
So
because
who do
Chico,
I
you
try to
who do
live
you
in.
look like? Wait, let me see. Who?
Shut up.
Hmm.
Chico Bean, Chico Bean, long lost brother, Pinto Bean.
Like my first show, I was walking on because I got there early. You know, you get there early to test the sound and the mics and all that stuff. And I was there, and it was in a regular like lounge, but they got a stage. So I'm going to the bar. I'm getting a few drinks because I'm nervous. And you know when people looking at you when you look like somebody, and you know they looking at you because you look like somebody. Because they look at you from across the way, and they're like,
Is that? Is that nigga?
and given the fact that it was cold outside, so I had a skull cap on.
Oh
I
God.
don't really need much to look like him. Just put on clothes and a hat, and then that's it. And so I know my first joke of the night, like I gotta say something about looking like Chico Bean. I gotta set the tone for the rest of my set
Big
right
ice.
out the gate, and just go on and say it. So I went out there and I told him like, all right, you know it, I know it. Just go and get it out the way now, so y'all won't
And
be
I think
hollering this shit out in the middle of my set. Yes, I know I look like Chico Bean. I know it. People tell me all the time. And everybody just bust out laughing. I knew. I'm like, I know they just sitting there like, damn, man. I didn't know Chico Bean was gonna be on. We paid $5. This must be a pop-up show or something.
Bruh, it says a pop-up show.
Yeah, like he must just showed up and just started doing the set.
Oh man.
Maybe like two
But the
years, y'all
hard
gonna
thing,
start a movie together.
Right. That
hey,
part.
turn it
He
down
gonna
because
be the
Background
stunt
music.
double.
I was gonna say I'll be a stunt double. I'll be a stunt double for real.
Yeah, we
But
need you to
like the
jump off
hardest
this
thing,
fence.
the hardest thing ain't just looking like him. It's looking like him, and you also a comedian because you want to be careful not to do I'm careful not to do too much stuff where I talk about
Wait,
looking like Chico Bean
wait,
because I don't
you
want
from
nobody
DC
thinking I'm
too?
trying to.
You from DC
You
too?
know, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama,
He
Okay,
from
okay.
Bama, bro.
He from
but I don't
Birmingham,
want
From
Alabama.
nobody.
dirty, dirty.
I don't want nobody thinking I'm trying to make my name off looking like somebody else that's a bigger name.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
I'm careful not to do that because some people might be like, well, all you doing is just trying to just playing off the fact that you look like him. You ain't really got no joke. So I might mention it here and there, but otherwise I try to not
That's
steer
very
completely away
wise.
from it. You can't steer completely away from it because apparently to other people I look just like him. I don't see it myself,
Absolutely.
but
Right.
I know other people see it. So
How
I even
how's
shaved my beard down, and people still say I look like him.
that's fucked up. Man. How's the event business going in Alabama right now?
Mm.
It's pretty good. You know, it's the South, so we don't shit about no pandemic.
Right.
So
Nah, not
they
at
ain't
all.
even like
These jokers gonna come out regardless.
Open
yeah
season.
when the lockdown happened initially, yes, everybody was in the house, when nobody doing nothing.
Said I will see it.
If there were any bars still having events, they were doing it outside.
Uh-huh.
Like you would go to the
Yeah.
same place, but everything was outside, the live band outside, and all that.
Right.
Now
Yep.
it's just back to normal.
They back in the
You
crib.
people
We
still got
back
you go
in.
in the. I went in GameStop the other day, and they still got the signs up saying a mask is required to come inside. And I
Nobody
was
had
like,
a mask on,
ain't
Not,
nobody got no mask on.
not
They
at
said that
Wally
boy, you
World,
gotta.
dog.
Yeah, I
I
heard they
don't
be dead.
I
I
don't
heard
know
they're
how it
baffling.
is around the rest of the country, but in Bama, Wally World took away all they frontline defenses.
Oh yeah.
What is that?
All of them. What I mean is, okay, you know when you go into Walmart and they had the people at the front and they be like, yeah, you need to put a mask on and
You
you need
call
to do.
Walmart is Wally
Yeah, we
World.
call it Wally World down
Okay.
You
here.
never heard of
Okay.
Dirty,
All
Wally
right.
dirty, you know.
Wally World?
That's Wally World, bro. It's another Bama thing.
All right.
He
We got
he
That's
know
not a
look,
family thing.
he know what I'm talking about. I had to get the right side. He know what I'm talking about. Anyway.
all right, so go ahead. At Walmart, Wally World, aka Wally World.
Yeah, the you know most of I don't know how it is around the rest of the country, but I know in Bama we had the people in the front of the store make sure you had the mask on and all that kind of stuff. Them folk gone, dog. They done did away with them. You just go ahead in the store now.
Walmart didn't want to pay anybody to tell
It's
anybody,
that I think that's got a lot to do with it. I think you're right.
And
I
they
was
probably
like,
done had how many fights over that shit?
bruh, these
Probably
folk in the front
Yeah.
throwing the fit. And again, I say I work in the system. It's an issue among our young people. This is a problem. They don't want to wear the mask neither.
and the,
That's a issue, dog.
I
has
don't be
Like
wanting to wear
they,
the mask. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't be wanting to wear the mask sometimes my damn self,
I'm gonna
but I
tell
still
you.
do.
I'm
I'm
gonna
in
be
Florida.
honest
I
with
don't
you.
wear a mask ever. Ever. I'm
Every
vaccinated.
morning,
Nothing wrong, vaccinated, cool. I don't wear a mask ever in Florida. Nope. Not.
man, I'm gonna tell you like this. I've had in the last 3 months 6 people that are part of our church. They gone, dog. That precaution, y'all get man. And you don't even know who's who or who has the symptom because they don't show up right away. So yeah, y'all gotta be careful, dog. I'm
Either
just
I'm
saying.
gonna believe in the vaccine and that it works for me, or I'm not. It's one of the you can't have it both ways.
well,
Mm,
Yeah.
we're changing the whole topic of the show,
Yep.
but
I am. I'm
I,
sorry. I
Yeah.
apologize. My
I'm
bad.
good.
You're right.
But
Tune in next week when we go take over CJ show again. I mean, what?
as, as the COVID safety officer,
And CJ let us go too. I'm
Nah,
just listening.
CJ has seen me in action as the COVID safety officer. Got to remind everybody that,
Hey, we
the
have to talk about that, man. But hey,
I
listen,
am in
I'm
real
glad
life.
you
My
did
wife,
though.
I'm telling you. But listen, when you're vaxxed, you can still catch and or spread
Yep.
right? And
Mhm.
the mask won't stop you from getting, but it can stop you from spreading it to somebody else. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
All right, so all right, let's go on.
Well, never mind.
You said
Okay,
black
next
men are
topic. I mean, is it it?
So no, it's one thing that I do want to say is that, man, we got a lot of things coming up. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want you guys to be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who's watching, like I said, Logic, we're gonna try to put something together with this virtual comedy show. I think it's gonna be the first done I've ever heard of it done yet. So we're gonna try to put something together. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to make something out of nothing. You know what I'm saying?
There's been some people that have done it, and it's nothing new under the sun. But yo, it's all about how you do it. So I did want to speak to the brother about how he wanted to feel for him to want to even do a virtual comedy show. You know what I mean? He mentioned
Yeah.
wanting to hear the laughter and all of that. But I would love to work with everybody who was up here today, man. Y'all some ill dudes, man. I salute all of y'all for real.
Salute, man.
Most definitely. Again, about the verses, like I said, we are not officially under the Renters Union. So definitely, we are under the Renters Union. So we definitely going to try to, put something together with this verses. This verse is going to be hotter than the first one because there's no limit to greatness. I'm gonna get that on the shirt. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get that on the shirt.
Oh yeah.
We waiting for Larry to come back. He said his stuff is acting up. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to
Well,
talk.
y'all
Uh-oh.
let me know, man. In the future, if y'all ever want to talk about, anything that we go through as black men, I'll always be on. If y'all want to talk entrepreneurship and wealth and stuff like that, let me know.
Yo, CJ, take him up on his fucking
I
offer right
second that.
Yeah,
now,
you know
bro.
what? You know what? I did had a finances episode, and I wish I had brought you on, but I had Professor Econ on here. He's also a financial advisor too. So I'm gonna set something up again, and I'm gonna have him on it because I told him I was gonna bring him on again for this for the new season. So there's definitely we can definitely set something up very soon. But next week is going to be a Valentine's Day special. I'm gonna have my boy DM Woods. He has a bestseller book that is out right now that's talk about relationships and things like that. So with it being Valentine's Day, I'm going to have him on next week, along with a female speaker as well. You know what I'm saying? Get the man and woman thing going on, and we're gonna try to set something up. But DM Woods will be in the building next week. For the Valentine's Day special of the BKE podcast.
That's what's up. Yo, so I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna say it on the show. Trav needs to be a regular, if not a co-host, man. This dude, he
Hey, look,
I
preaching, man.
agree.
We need to have him up here, man.
hey Tav, look, we're going to talk after this show. All right, we're
No
going to
problem.
talk.
Yeah.
His management is gonna call your management.
also, I do want to also put out there that Larry is actually on the run of becoming another co-host of the BK podcast. So, bitch, go ahead, put a round of applause for Larry.
Oh, that's what's up.
So
That
again,
is if
I,
I can keep the sound on my shit. The white man
but
keep trying
we
to put the
definitely gonna talk
silence
about
in
this a little bit after the show. I can't do it too much because I got my lady I gotta get to, of course. Y'all know what it is, happy wife, happy life, I don't want to get my ass
Let
kicked.
me ask Larry real quick before we end the show. So, what would you need for a virtual comedy show to feel real to you? You say you want to hear the laughter. What else?
it. Do y'all hear the echo or is it just me?
It's just you right now.
Okay, cool. I can deal with it being me. I don't want to mess up the podcast. But it ain't nothing that I necessarily need. I could do it as long as I got other people on like to bounce stuff off of, react to, shit like that. So it would just be like an improv thing.
Yep. Yo, I think we gonna talk behind the scenes, but I think I got an idea for
I
y'all, man.
got you.
How you can really create that.
You see, this is what we do here. This is what we do here. This is definitely what we do. Yes, we do have a lot of talking to do, but I'm trying to keep it real short and simple. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my lady's waiting on me. But
Uh-oh.
And speaking of which, good job, fellas. You know what I'm saying? She giving y'all a round of applause.
Shout out.
Salute. Thank you.
You know, but I want to thank you guys for definitely coming on here and spending this long time with us. I know you're supposed to be for an hour, but I was like, fuck it, man. This is something that we really got to talk about. We got to, pull up our sleeves and really get down to the nitty gritty. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to thank y'all. I want to thank everybody who took the time to tune in and rap with us and chat with us and ask us questions. You guys are what makes this happen every week. So definitely make sure that you guys just keep tuning in. Make sure you guys follow us. Follow us on the BKE podcast on YouTube and on Facebook. Give a nigga a like. You know what I'm saying? It's free 99. You know what I'm saying? But I also want to let you know that next weekend is the weekend of love. It's Valentine's Day weekend. So I hope you guys, are bundling up with your, significant other. If you don't have a significant other, then probably you're gonna find one for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. But next week on Friday, the BK podcast, we're gonna have DM Woods. He's a relationship expert, and he's gonna be here to join us, and we're gonna talk a little bit about relationships and things like that. I'm actually thinking about having a lady on live with me. So there's definitely something that's definitely going to be something that is worth the watch. So if you guys are ready for that, make sure you guys definitely tune in. Before I end this, I want to give these guys a chance to bulk up their social media. Tav, where can they find you at?
Yeah, you can just find me on my Facebook. It's Tavius Washington. You can just find me on there. You'll see it. It looks like I have a sun behind me. Really, it's a lamp. So don't get all excited like I'm doing scenic pictures. But yeah, if there's anything that deals with, if you're a person out there that just needs somebody to vent to or talk to, you can reach out to me. Or if there's anything to deal with like business and stuff like that, hit me up. I'll do my best to help you out. And I just want to say, love you all, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on. All of y'all stories and everything y'all said. This has been an amazing topic.
Hey man, listen, y'all, use y'all resources. This guy's putting it out there. He's a sales coach and a sales consultant. He can talk to you guys about business. Make sure you follow him. All right. Favor.
Was hey, the praise break dropped Sunday, so look out for that. So Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, I'm somewhere everywhere. You can find me on Facebook at Jacob/DJ Favor. My regular page is Jacob Marshall. Twitter, I'm at DJ Favor ATL, and I got one of my Instagrams back. Did I tell you that? I got
His
hacked,
Instagram
y'all.
got hacked.
I
Fellas.
got hacked, y'all. I can't believe it happened twice. It was
He got
Yeah,
crazy.
he
hacked,
was
bro.
had by one
But
of my cousins.
but I got one of my pages is real underscore DJ Favor. So on Instagram, that's the only one I'm behind now. So yeah, check me out. I follow back. I holla.
All right, Mr. Rotunda.
Thanks.
I mean Larry. Look, where can they find you at, brother?
Um, so as I mentioned before, you can find the comedy page if you just type in the Church of Foolishness, same name for the podcast. On anywhere where you listen to podcasts. If you want my personal Instagram, it is like once again, this is not a joke. Pinto underscore bean 4. Yes, I call myself Pinto Bean.
He's
So
not
see,
lying,
you're
I'm
not
folks.
Latin,
lying.
but I'm from the South.
He's not lying, y'all. He's not
Bruh.
lying. He's not lying. All
Everybody else
right.
got slick names on Instagram. I gotta give myself a slick name
Bruh.
too.
And Mr. Logic himself, I want to give a round of applause for John Logic. He's produced the show. He's did a very good job. He did a bang up job.
Thank you for the invite.
Well, I didn't produce this show, right? You said
Well, you did a little ipso facto.
you
You
can
know
put
what I'm saying?
you can put me as associate producer, but
You
this
know,
is all your production. You know what I mean? Thank you for distributing it on the iRant network as well. So salute to everybody from the Ranters Union. I just want to say that salute to everybody from the Ranters Union who've been watching us. Tennessee, Virginia Slim, Mills Lane, Sleazy Aki, Christopher, Mr. Jones, Don Philly, everybody who came in. I saw you from the Ranters Union. Salute to the Ranters Union. And I'm Ja Logic on Ja_Logic on IG. I also have another page that I follow Larry's comedy page from. That's chicken_N_beef TV. You know what I'm saying? And, you'll hear more from me in the future.
All right, all right. You guys know what it is. It's your boy CJ. You know what I'm saying? You guys can find me at the BKE Podcast on Facebook, BKE Podcast on Twitter. The BKE Podcast doesn't have an IG yet. You know what I'm saying? Don't shoot me in the foot. But you can also find me on IG at CJ Lord. CJ Lord, all one word, CJLURID. As you see it on the screen, and just make sure you guys know that we are live every Friday at 7 p.m. New times. Being under the Renters Union, we have found a new time and a new date, which is on Fridays. You know what I'm saying? So I want you guys to have a great night. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you guys for tuning in with me. And catch y'all when we catch y'all. Peace out.